Tony Gwynn Jr.
How about Hungary?
Tony needs one for the title.
Hungary?
Hungary.
Did you say Hungary?
He said Hungary.
He's not allowed to win if he calls it Hungary.
And Chris Ello.
And as soon as the white smoke comes out the chimney, they've got a new pope.
What's
and
a
everybody
chimney?
celebrates. It's a chimney. It's my version of a chimney.
It's time to get you up to speed on all things sports.
Yes!
With plenty of nonsense in between.
Oh, look! Here comes our fearless producer!
Gwynn and Chris starts right now on 97.3 The Fan.
Throwing-wise, Musgrove.
Yeah, I think he's day-to-day right now. Kind of, we knew this was how it's going to be with him coming back from injury. It wasn't just going to be a straight shot, all the way through. And so giving him the ample amount of rest to get him kind of a little bit of a deep breath, a breather, and then we'll get him back out there.
Any idea when that'll be, just based on how he feels?
We'll see. We'll evaluate him every single day and then make a decision after that.
With Joe, I mean, is it like general soreness? Is it kind of work, just typical stuff, working your way back from this kind of thing?
Yeah, it's typical stuff. Like sometimes you just come out of a game or come out of a bullpen and it's just a little cranky. And you're like, I need, a couple extra days and just a little bit of a breather, recalibrate, start all over again and get back to it. But I don't think it won't be too long. Like it's just, something I think it's in the best interest for him and in the best interest for our team so that we can get him pitching when it matters most. And that's when we see playoff Joe. So we got to get it. We're thinking about getting him through the entire season, not just getting him to opening day.
Craig Stammen better be right. Otherwise, we got some problems on our hands. Welcome into Gwynn and Chris, everybody. It is the middle. No, it's not yet the middle of the week. I have been way off on my days of the week this week, Scrape.
It does feel like a Wednesday, I got to say.
Feels like about Friday to me, and I think it's because I was, over the weekend and then came home on a Monday morning. That's
weird.
thrown me off.
Who comes home on a Monday morning
right,
from
yeah,
Vegas?
From anywhere,
going to Vegas.
Right. So, I'm thinking it's later in the week. It's Tuesday, and we're happy to be with you. No matter what day it is, we're happy to be here. Gwynn and Chris on 97.3 The Fan. Chris Ello, Matt Snyder together in our Odyssey Palace studios. Tony Gwynn Jr. is he's far away from Peoria today. He's in, I think the Angels play in Tempe, which is like almost impossible to get to from Peoria. And let's just throw in some more bad news. Walker Buehler's not exactly fooling him today. He's given up 5 hits in 2 2/3 innings. Padres and Angels are tied at 2 right now with the Halos batting against Buehler in the bottom of the 3rd inning. That's not a good thing, though, what we heard there at the beginning from Craig Stammen. First of all, I appreciate Craig Stammen trying to put a happy spin on it. That's what he's got to do. Yeah, this is normal. This is, we kind of expected this. This is no big deal. Yeah, only until it really becomes a big deal. And how many times, Scrabe, look, Joe Musgrove might be a little different than the average bird. I feel good about Joe Musgrove. He's going to be honest. He's going to say anything. He's going to, my point being, he's going to discuss whatever's happening. He's going to be very forthright. So I'm assuming that Joe Musgrove has told them everything exactly the way it is, and they have determined that a little shutdown should be fine. But how many times has this happened? Not to Musgrove, but to whoever. And let's just take the Padres. Who was the player? I mean, you're going to think of this quicker than I do, but I think it was Jackson Merrill last year, tweaked his ankle in the 2nd or 3rd game. We didn't see him again until June.
It was his hammy.
Hammy. Okay, right. Hamstring.
But you're
ankle.
right. There was some.
You know what I'm saying? They
can't remember who tripped over their bat and hurt their ankle. Maybe it was Jackson.
There's always this report at the beginning that we're going to give him a couple of days and it should be fine. And then 2 months later, we're like, where are they? And, that's just what you have to be worried about that when you hear Joe Musgrove, who's coming back from missing an entire season, right, with an arm thing and the Tommy John, whatever it is. And then remember when he pitched last week and he pitched okay. And I said, well, this is great, but what really matters is how he's going to feel after. And he apparently had a bullpen session and just doesn't come out of it feeling right. That's a red flag. And I know the Padres have picked up a lot of these pitchers here. The competition for the 5th spot is deep, but you and I don't want a rotation that has Walker Buehler and German Marquez and Tristan McKenzie and Griffin Canning, right? You don't want that many question marks. You just don't. And, Joe Musgrove is, to my way of thinking, is never a question mark if he's healthy. And I don't think Michael King's a question mark. Same with Pivetta. And Randy Vasquez is moving into not being a question mark territory.
I think he's already there.
So, I want.
Oh, you mean, I see what you mean.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's creeping on that.
He's creeping up there. And then the 5th starter, I'm okay with whoever you have because it's a 5th starter. But I don't want my 5th starter all of a sudden being the 3rd starter.
I get
and that's my concern. And, we'll keep our fingers crossed. Chris, maybe you're overreacting. You don't know what you're talking about. Well, first of all, you're right. I don't know what I'm talking about, but I don't know that I'm overreacting because we've seen this so many times. And it's not Musgrove. I'm just talking about Jackson Merrill last year with the hammy. He missed 2 months, 3 months, didn't he?
He missed a lot.
He was gone forever.
He came back and then he got a concussion. And then
it was supposed to be a couple of days maximum. We're not even going to – do you remember with Jackson – I think it was Jackson Merrill, but do you remember they weren't even going to put him on the injured list at first?
Yeah. Oh, that was – and same with Jake Cronenworth. He got hit in the ribs.
It's the old, well, we're going to see if we need to put him on the injured list because that's 7 days. We don't want to commit to that. We think he'll be back sooner than that. Then he goes on the 7-day injury list, but the 7-day injury list lasts 37 days, 67 days. I hope with Joe Musgrove, it's just a tweak. And, in a couple of days, it's kind of like, okay, false alarm. We're good to go. But it doesn't seem to work out that way very often anymore with these athletes, with these baseball players, especially. Baseball players, I'm getting used to. This isn't just the Padres. This is all across baseball. Scraby, you play the fantasy game just like I do. I know a lot of people out there do. When one of your players goes down, and then you read in the paper, whether the guy plays for the Brewers or he plays for the Yankees, you hear the old, well, he's going to be out a couple days. Most of the time, they're out for a couple of months. It just seems to happen way too often in baseball now. Maybe it's other sports too. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that compared to where we were 10 years ago, 15 years ago, the science of getting these guys 100% healthy is that much more refined. So they have to dot a lot more I's and cross a lot more T's than they used to before you say, hey, I'm ready to come back.
I think we need to take a step back for a second.
Take the step back.
I understand why you're feeling the way you are, because when I heard the news, I was like, oh, this is not good. I think that we should wait a couple days before we get into this and start worrying and start making plans, because I don't feel like the Padres would bring it up if it wasn't something that was truly day to day.
The Padres,
because they don't have a responsibility to announce every single injury every single day.
Well, they're going to have to say something where if Joe Musgrove doesn't pitch or take a bullpen for 3 weeks, somebody somewhere like Kevin Acee, who's a pretty sharp guy, or Sam Levitt, who's paying attention, if nobody sees Joe Musgrove walking around the facility for 3 weeks, somebody say, what happened to him? They have to make an announcement.
3 weeks, yes.
All right, or even 3 days. They need to make an announcement and say, hey, there's something going on. What they don't need to do, and what the Padres don't ever do, is tell you the real severity of things. There's so many examples of this. I can't even, I'd have to honestly take a minute to go back. But the Padres, to me, and maybe it's just because they're our team, the one we follow the closest.
I think that's what it is.
We hear from.
I feel like that too.
Right. We hear from AJ. We hear from Mike Schilt last year, whoever it is, and they always give us the old, it's going to be a day or two. We'll just take it. We'll see. We'll take it day by day. Next thing you know, 3 weeks have gone by. That's why I'm concerned. What they just said about Joe Musgrove is not, hey, this is just normal. We expected this. We're good. We're just going to give him a couple of days to recalibrate, and everything should be fine. The part that he said that is actually more accurate in my mind is We want Joe Musgrove healthy for a season.
Yes.
We don't want to have him healthy just for opening day.
Doesn't that tell you that he's not? They're not thinking that way yet.
What it tells me is that it could be a month or so, and he won't be ready for opening day, and that they hope he'll be ready as the season goes along and he can start ramping up in May and June. That's what it tells me. If you asked me right now to bet, Daily Gambit, is Joe Musgrove going to be in the opening rotation 2.5 weeks from right now? Right? They're going to play the Tigers. They're going to play a Thursday. Let's say it's Pavetta. They're going to play a Friday. Let's say it's King. They're going to even play a Saturday. Let's say they move Randy Vasquez up. They get that Sunday off, which is weird.
It is weird.
And then they play the second series starting on Monday. If I had to bet whether Joe Musgrove is pitching that game, I would bet against it. Based on what I've seen in the past, they're going to always err on the side of what?
Caution.
Caution.
And I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Especially at this point in the year. I mean, we need some Joe Musgrove this year. And if he misses the first month of the season, I think the Padres could probably get by every fifth
There's
day.
no doubt about that they could get by. What I'm saying is that nowhere in that comment from Craig Stammen did it say, he could miss a month or so. What they're saying, and I quote from what I just heard, is, we're going to give him a couple of days to reset. This is totally expected.
Which I do agree with.
But I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I wish it was right. I just don't. Those things, that's not how it goes.
But here's the thing. We have a new manager. We have a guy who is now forming his relationship with the media and the fans.
He's speaking from the to the organization's voice.
Can we do something when we get back? Because there was something in his face that lit up when he was talking about the injury.
Okay.
That kind of made me feel like, okay, maybe this isn't so bad.
You feel okay?
I maybe I'm reading into it, but we could replay it. I could show you the moment.
Let's just hope that next week, like say next Thursday, the 18th, when we're down there, 19th, when we're down there for spring training, you and I.
Yes.
Let's hope that Joe Musgrove is on the mound and pitching, and you can all say, Chris, you worrywart, you were wrong.
And let's hope that he comes on the show, because if he comes on the show, that means he's not injured.
I don't know. He could come on the show and say that it's going to take another little while. Joe's that way. They're going to err on the side of caution. He's coming back from a year off, and now his arm's not feeling great.
That is also a big thing. Think about that. This is the first time he's pitched in a competitive environment in over a year.
And they, quote, expected this. Okay.
Then I'm good with it. Until the next update.
I'm good with it until the next update as well.
Until they tell me that he's skipping another start.
The next update better not be on April 6th. Like, if it's going to be a couple of days, then I would expect to see Joe pitching next week in a bullpen or somewhere.
Yeah. Fair.
We'll see.
All right.
All right, we're underway. Matt Snyder's on the show. We'll ask his opinion on that baseball stuff. Mark Zeigler later with the Aztecs heading to Vegas for the Mountain West tournament. Gwynn and Chris rolling on a Tuesday. I think it's a Tuesday. the voice of my partner, Tony Gwynn Jr. It's ringing in my ears right now. Chris,
Give me some meat.
No, he's not saying that. He's saying, Chris, relax. We don't know anything. It's spring training. They're being cautious. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Sorry?
Yeah.
I'm worried. Joe Musgrove. I just said Joe Musgrove is shut down, and Scraby goes, no, he's not. He's just not pitching.
He's just not throwing.
And I said, okay.
Shut down to me means we're not going to have you throw for 30 days.
No, shut down means he's not pitching at all for 3, 4, 5, whatever days. Shut down.
People on the chat are saying that you're traumatized by past Padres
Fair enough.
things.
Aren't you?
I don't.
I mean, come on. We've heard this a million times.
I don't know why,
This
but
is
I'm
the
giving,
one time I want to hear that, it's okay. It's going to be a few days. We expected it. And then in a few days, Joe Musgrove is ready to go. I want to see that, but I don't recall having
me till
seen
the
that
end of the
anywhere
week.
in the past.
If by Friday we have no news on Joe Musgrove, then I will start to inch my way over.
We won't have any news by Friday.
But the reason I'm not traumatized is for some reason I believe that each coach gives us a new opportunity to have
Yes.
trust in them.
I look, it's not the coach though. I think, look, Craig Stammen's gonna do things way differently than Mike Schilt. There's no question.
Yes.
Somebody asked Craig Stammen about the roller coaster nature of the season. Craig Stammen might laugh, but because it's kind of a funny question. And he's certainly not going to lose his mind over it the way some other managers we had did. But having said that, I know how things work well enough to tell you, Scraby, that when this injury situation happened with Joe Musgrove, whatever it is, his arm's sore. Okay. What are we going to say to the media? Craig Stammen doesn't get sole power over doing that. I guarantee AJ's in on it. I guarantee.
I would think so.
If it's not Grupner, but, people are like that from the organization. They were always going to make things, come out the way they want them to come out. And so you're saying it's a new manager. I agree, but it's the same organization. And the organization always starts injury stuff like that. And you can't disagree with me there. Because every Padre that's hurt is always, it's a couple of things, no big deal.
We talked about this, Chris.
All right.
And it's why we wouldn't want them to come out and say it was much worse and then have it be better. Because if it's much worse, you're
I absolutely would.
You're not giving yourself, like, what happened? It was much worse. Now I don't trust them at all because they're telling me it's much worse, but he's back in 3 days, huh?
All right. I'd absolutely rather them say, you know what? I think Manny's going to be out a month and then he gets back in 3 weeks. But I don't want to hear Manny's out for a couple of days and then 3 weeks later, I still haven't seen him. And that is how the Padres do things, and that's their choice. But I'm reading into it a little bit, and you're right. You're wrong, because I would rather hear them say, yeah, we hope Musgrove can be back in a month, and then he's ready next week. Great, worked out. I think that's better, but they don't want us to be in a concerned situation. So I'm going to be in one anyway. 2:22 is the time. Remember, coming up around 5:35 today, we will announce today's biggest fan. That winner will have a chance to qualify for a night in our Odyssey suite at a future Padre game, hopefully one that Joe Musgrove is starting at Petco Park. All of the fan staff will be there. It'll be catered by Spiro's Mediterranean Cuisine. Register your name at 973thefansd.com/biggest fan in order to potentially have your name called. That's at about 5:30 today. We are broadcasting from the Bill House Studios where we know how. Walker Buehler did get out of that little jam he was in the third inning. So Buehler is now into the fourth inning. And the Padres, by the way, while we were chatting, just got a grand slam from your guy, Scrabe, a guy you like, Jace Bowen.
Here we go.
Just hit a grand salami for the Padres. Bowen has been one of these, minor league revelations in spring training with Sanabria, kind of like that.
Jose Miranda.
Miranda's not, to me, a minor league. Miranda's a former big leaguer
You're right,
who's, trying to get back to it. But, I don't think anybody knew who, Jace Bowen was.
No, definitely
when
not.
spring training started. The guy's hitting 290 with that grand slam today. He's got 6 RBIs with his second home run of the spring. He's stolen, 5 bases, hasn't he? Something like that?
5 bases, yes.
Yeah, he's been running wild. He's got an OPS of, officially 934. So, maybe Fernando can just stay with the Dominican Republic. We'll keep Chase Bowen in right field. I don't know that that's smart, but
I mean, I don't think he's making the opening.
You don't think
day
he's
roster.
pushing Fernando off the team?
But no, I don't think he's making it over Ty France. I don't think he's making it over some of these guys. However, he may be one of the first called up.
Sure, he's put himself in a position to be that
if they
guy.
Need someone.
He also could make the team over Bryce Johnson, although I think Bryce Johnson would probably be the guy. Bryce Johnson's 0 for 3 today with 2 strikeouts. So there you go. The other 3 RBIs today, they're leading 7-2. Bowen has the grand slam. Pablo Reyes, who's a Dominican Republic guy, was in the Yankee system. This is another name I don't know a lot about, but he's 2 for 2 with 3 RBIs today.
It's always a fun spring training exercise when my phone pops up with a score notification and I have no idea.
Never heard of who that is.
I have no idea.
Oh, you don't even know which team scored,
No.
right? Yeah, that's a good point. 7-2 Padres. Bueller's pitching now in the bottom of the 4th. 3 1/3. He struck out only 1 today. Remember, Bueller's going to be different if he's our guy. He's not going to be striking out 8, 9, 10. That's, he's going to pitch to more contact now. So anyway, we'll keep you up to date on what's going on. Tony, I would say he's unlikely to be able to join us today. It's not that he won't want to, but when this game is over, he'll be driving from Tempe to Peoria.
Let's check the traffic.
And that's at least an hour and 15 minutes at the minimum.
Right now it's 54 minutes.
Yeah, well, that's now. That's 2:26.
I know.
Wait till 4:26 in the heart of traffic.
That's when Tony starts sending us text messages of the backed up traffic.
And he's like, he actually will send us pictures of the backed up traffic.
He's like, see, I'm telling you. We're like, Tony, we believe you.
Tony, we believe you. Yes. All right. We mentioned Matt Snyder's going to come on, talk some baseball with us. We like always having him on from CBS Sports. I think this story with Randy Arozarena and Cal Raleigh, if you haven't seen it, here's what happened. Raleigh is the catcher for the United States team. Arozarena is an outfielder for the Mexico team. They played each other last night. Now, during the normal year, Raleigh and Arozarena are teammates with the Mariners.
Yes.
Arozarena stepped into the batter's box. He reached back to shake the hand of Cal Raleigh. Cal Raleigh basically looked like he told him to go pound sand.
He did.
And Randy Arozarena even leaned in.
Yeah,
Have you seen the video?
Did you actually say that?
He leaned in like, really? That's what you're going with? And Cal Raleigh didn't move a muscle, and Arozarena turned around and went to bat. But he was asked about it after the game, and Arozarena used enough bad language that I can't really repeat what he said.
He said, bleep off, go to hell.
Yeah, that was only one of the things he said. He
also said that, good to see you, that he said to me, shove it up his bleep.
Yeah, he said that Raleigh said, good to see you. And Arozarena was like, that isn't what I was hoping for. Anyway, so that's a big thing at the moment. Now, there's people are trying to say the Mariners manager, for one.
He's been asked about this.
He was asked about it, Dan Wilson, today in Mariner camp. Now, remember, Dan Wilson wasn't there.
No.
He's with his team. But he just said, oh, these are great athletes. They're competitive. They love each other.
Stock answer.
But he doesn't know. There are some people saying maybe Arozarena is just kind of playing a prank here. But Raleigh wouldn't speak to the media about it after the game. We'll see.
I think Dan Wilson or someone said that Cal Raleigh may have told Randy Arozarena, like, hey, once this game starts, we're
somebody mentioned that possibility that we're going to be gladiators and we're not going to hug and stuff. Anyway, Arozarena either is joking.
He is kind of a jokester, but I don't see this as being a prank.
I don't either. I think he's legitimately was upset. I mean, he was asked 4 different times about it, and 4 different times, each time he said, Cal Raleigh's a bleep bleep. So, these guys are teammates with the Mariners. We'll see where this goes. But
quickly before we go to break, do you have an issue with Cal Raleigh?
Not if before the game he said, let's just compete today.
But during the game, if he didn't say that,
but if he didn't say it, and if they didn't say anything, and Arozarena tried to shake my hand, and he's my teammate in the big leagues, I'm at least slapping his hand. I may not stand up for a 10-minute handshake and hug, but it just seems like that's the right thing to do. And when Arozarena leaned back and said, "What's going on?" it didn't look like Raleigh was too interested.
He just kind of looked at him,
commiserating with him at that point either.
I kind of love it, but I also understand it's not great for the Mariners.
You're right. I'm glad I didn't see this with Freddie Fermin playing somewhere and Manny Machado after the game saying, Freddie Freeman can go to hell, or Freddie Fermin can go to hell.
Yeah, that would be bad.
That's not what I want to hear.
That's what we're talking about all show today.
Yeah, that's not what I want to hear. I don't want to hear Manny telling him to go to hell. I don't want to see Fernando try to break up a double play and sliding into Xander Bogaerts.
Yeah.
And Xander Bogaerts saying, "Hey, Fernando can go to hell."
Yeah.
That's not great. That's not the greatest thing.
It's not great.
So anyway,
it's very interesting because Cal Raleigh to me is one of the good guys of the game.
He's the big dumper. Come on, he's a wonderful guy. Yeah,
he is a wonderful guy. Look, I kind of love it though. Part of me loves it. Part of me doesn't love it.
Well, here's the thing. If Cal Raleigh can put an end to it, if he just goes and talks to the media before the game tonight, I think they're playing tonight.
They are 6 p.m.
Right? Cal Raleigh says, "Hey, either A, I apologized, or B, Randy's a jokester, whatever, just put an end to it." But if Cal Raleigh says, I ain't talking to you, then he's just going to make it worse because people's minds are going to run away.
Yeah. Now everybody's going to fill in the blank,
especially in the Seattle area. And I'm worried about our Eddie Vedder brethren over there.
All of a sudden, there's going to be a bunch of trade articles about
Randy Arozarena's out
because they're not getting rid of Cal Raleigh.
They're not sending the dumper away.
Hey, Randy Arozarena's
a good player too, so we'll see.
He might fit in left field
goes.
at Petco Park. I know Ramon Laureano's there, but hey,
well, he could be a DH.
Yeah.
I know we always think of every player coming to the Padres, but that doesn't seem like it fits right.
No,
all right. Although we'll say one last thing about Randy Arozarena. He had about 100 home runs that year at Petco Park.
He did
during the what was that? The
COVID
playoffs. The COVID playoffs. Yeah, Randy Arozarena was unbelievable. All right, Gwynn and Chris underway. Matt Snyder. We'll get some of his thoughts on this and other baseball stuff when we come back. later, but not counting on him. Padres and Angels taking on the ball game in Tempe today. There he is, Tony. 7-2 Padres, grand slam, Jace Bowen. Big blow. And Buehler ended up going 3 2/3, Scrabe. 5 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. Nothing to write home about, but, we look at the numbers. They're looking at how he pitched.
Yeah, they're looking
so
at
it's a whole different thing. Yeah.
And we wanted to throw the pitch here.
Right. We wanted to say 3 2/3, 0-0-0-0-7.
That's what we want.
In the line score. They would like to see that, but they're more concerned with how's the stuff look, how's it coming out, location, how's he feel.
Now I don't know what he threw today, but I do know he told everybody last week after a start that he had added a sweeper and a slider, I believe, and so he said they were working on that. Maybe that
he's been working on that too. Well, he only gave up 2 runs, so it's not like the end of the world. He did hit Zach Neto with a pitch, and I like to see that.
Why?
Because Buehler's a competitor out there who will knock you down.
There was a hit by pitch last night in the Team USA.
Of course,
Mexico game.
We don't know whether this was maybe a curve got away and hit him.
Yeah,
as opposed to buzzing the tower.
I thought you had an issue with Zach Neto.
No issue with him. But if Walker Buehler's going to pitch for our team this year, I want him to pitch like the mean SOB that he is out there.
It is part of his thing.
Part of his game. Speaking of the Team USA, I have an issue with Mark DeRosa while we wait here for our guy, Matt Snyder, to come aboard. If you had Mason Miller on your roster and you have a 2-run lead heading into the 9th inning of a game that you have to win in order to qualify for the knockout round of the World Baseball Classic, and you bring in Garrett Whitlock instead, I have to ask about that. At the very least, I got to ask about that. I thought for sure. I watched the 9th inning, kept watching till the 9th inning because I wanted to see Mason Miller pitch. And then Garrett Whitlock came in. Now he got the job done, whatever. But what's going on here? Like, I need to know. Is Mark DeRosa just more confident in Garrett Whitlock than he is in Mason Miller? And if so, he's probably the only one on earth who is more confident. So, I don't know. USA won last night 5-3. It wasn't exactly the blowout. They got a 2-run home run from Aaron Judge. They got a 3-run home run from Anthony there. The Red Sox have been all their players have been doing really well, by the way. The Red Sox players in the World Baseball Classic. Jaron Duran hit 2 home runs for Mexico. Anthony hit the home run for the U.S. But Matt Snyder.
One thing I will say before we bring on Matt can comment on this as well. Matt,
okay.
Thank you for joining the show from CBS Sports.
Yes.
The whole thing with the pitching, they have certain days that they're trying not to ruin the arms.
I get that.
And they're trying to pace it and spread it out. And so maybe that's why Mason Miller wasn't used. It took me forever to say it, but there I said it.
Matt, thank you for coming on as always. And that's the last time I'll ever let Scraby talk over your appearance on the show. But
no, it's fine no matter what. I will say, once it became 5-3, I'm sitting there already screaming at the TV. First of all, why is Boyd still in? Second of all, why aren't we going to Bednar and then Miller?
Yeah.
And neither one even pitched. But you've got the game against Italy, and this is still spring training for these guys. And Mark DeRosa had to talk to every single pitcher's team, and had to give assurances, I'm not going to run these guys. So he's got, to me, a much harder job than the managers in the regular season do in terms of who you're going to use out of the bullpen, because you're not just saying, how do I get through this game? You're juggling all that stuff.
Yeah, because he thinks Mason Miller's, want to make sure he has him tonight. Then he gets a day off before they eliminate. You're right. He can't pitch Mason Miller last night and then pitch him, and he can't pitch him 2 nights in a row. The Padres wouldn't like that.
Yeah, and then you have to figure out how am I going to use all of these bullpen guys for the quarterfinals, semifinals, and finals if all 3 games are close.
Fair enough. I'm going to give Mark DeRosa a pass on that. That's cool. Talk about the Red Sox. I mean, should they be excited? I mean, we saw the one game with Duran and Anthony, but it seems like all the Red Sox are making a mark in this World Baseball Classic, and people didn't think they had any talent. Maybe they got a lot of talent. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's still small samples and all that stuff. And I mean, just as an example, Dante Nori has 2 home runs for Italy. I don't know if anybody's going crazy about him for the regular season, but that's in 2 games, 2 home runs in 2 games.
So yeah, it looks good.
I still think it's an incredibly fun event. I'm as into it as anybody right now, but I'm not going to go crazy about any of the stats or any of the stuff when you're talking about a bunch of individual 1-game samples and the pitching rules that we already talked about and all the different stuff with the pitching. It's not the same as the regular season, but even if it is, if you see Jarren Duran go crazy in 1 game in the regular season out of 162, we shouldn't move our needle that much on a guy based on 1 game. But hey, we've seen how good he could be. I mean, he had a huge breakout season in 2024, took a step back last year. Maybe he gets back to 2024 form, and I think the Red Sox are going to be looking for some of that. They're going to look at, hey, we need Duran to bounce back. We need Trevor Story to stay healthy for a full season. Again, we need Roman Anthony to break out. They're asking for a lot of question marks to be answered in the positive offensively. The pitching staff looks great, but offensively, there are questions.
I think Jared Duran was on the Padre radar, or at least was rumored to be, in the trade discussions last year.
Right,
so,
yeah.
One last thing on the WBC, and then I'm going to let Scraby ask you about Cal Raleigh and Randy Arozarena. But Manny Machado makes those plays the other night, the 2 back-to-back. I think everybody's seen them by now. And there's no other third baseman that I know of that can make those plays like he does, as smooth as he does. And, I'm going to say what I always say. The man still doesn't have a Gold Glove as a third baseman. He's not even a finalist last year at third base. And I know it's only the Gold Glove, but I don't get it. Why don't people see what I see? I know he makes some errors on routine plays.
Yeah.
He's still the best third baseman I think I've ever seen.
Was there Arenado a finalist in front of him?
Not last year. No, Arenado was not even in there last year. I think
because I was worried about a reputation.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Arenado was there.
I think it was Brian Hayes. McMahon was in there, and then he got traded. I'm trying to think of the third.
Matt
anyway,
Chapman should
Matt
be.
Chapman's
Chapman
always
and Machado are the two that I think of that are the gold standard. And I think Chapman might be one of the main reasons Machado doesn't have one by now. And probably Arenado too. I'm not the best on Gold Glove.
No, you're fine.
Anytime I do the Immaculate Grid and I see Gold Glove on there, I'm like, oh, come on, man. I don't know all the Gold Gloves.
Matt Snyder and me both play Immaculate Grid. I love that.
Yeah.
And I kind of freak out on Gold Glove too.
I definitely think he's one of those. I would never have guessed it if you hadn't brought it up to me before, but I know you have in the past. He's one of those guys that I think once he retires and I go to round up his accolades for his Hall of Fame case, which I do expect him to be a Hall of Famer someday. I think it's one of those things where you can be like, holy cow, how did he never win a Gold Glove?
He did win a couple. I want to say he did win a couple with the Orioles when he was shortstop and stuff way back then. Yeah, but since here he's never won. So yes, he has a couple in the locker.
I do think third base. We've seen a defensive renaissance at third base the last 10 to 15 years or so, and he is a big part of that between him, Arenado, and Matt Chapman at least. But the plays that so many guys are making at third base now are the plays that made Brooks Robinson famous.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's 10 to 15 dudes every year who are making those. It's ridiculous. And I'm glad that you're all the way across the country from Baltimore, because I don't need people going crazy on me about Brooks Robinson and the blasphemy that I just committed.
You're fine. You're fine. We don't have many Baltimoreans, I think I'm just going to call them here.
Might be.
We're talking to Matt Snyder, CBS Sports. He is brought to you by SDCCU. It's not big bank banking. It's better. Now, Chris and I just talked about the Cal Raleigh, Randy Arozarena thing, where Randy Arozarena tried to shake his hand. Cal Raleigh didn't want anything to do with it. And then after the game, they asked Randy Arozarena about it. And he said about Cal Raleigh, bleep off, go to hell. And then he said some other things. So Dan Wilson, the manager of the Mariners, was asked about this, and he kind of tap danced around it. Is this real? And are we going to be talking about this in a real sense going forward?
It's a hard one.
It'd be so stupid. It'd be so stupid if it was. I think the comment that Raleigh said is, I think people are making that to be a bigger deal than it is. That's true. And I'm sure the dust will settle. I can't believe So, all right, it's hard to know what exactly was going back and forth between the two, but I mean, maybe Raleigh just said, "Hey, I love you, man, but we're not going to shake hands right now because we're opponents."
Right.
I was surprised that Raleigh didn't just shake his hand. I was also surprised that it seemed like Rosarena went so crazy publicly after the game about it. You'd have to think that you can get that thing smoothed over. They just went to Game 7 of the ALCS. They have a chance to be the first Mariners team to ever go to the World Series. You can't let something like that derail an entire ball club. And they're both veterans. They've both been through the battles. You've hardly heard of any clubhouse issues with either one of them. I think the only thing that came to mind with the Rosarena was, I believe he recorded a locker room thing when he was on the Cardinals and they got rid of him because of that. But that was so long ago. And this doesn't seem like that. I would guess it would blow over, heat of the moment type thing. I was talking to some friends earlier, and I said this is one of those things where I think if you already had a preconceived notion about either guy, then you just go crazy with it. Like I thought about like I was like, you know what my dad would do if it was like Cubs and Cardinals and it was like Yadier Molina behind the plate, he'd go crazy about the catcher being in the wrong. But if it was like Wilson Contreras when he was on the Cubs, he'd be like, hey, settle down. Contreras is fine.
Of course.
So it's
how we all do
it.
It's
just whichever guy is your guy, he's fine. The other guy needs to settle down. I mean, my guess is 2 weeks from now, much ado about nothing.
Matt Snyder's with us. All right, here's another thing, Matt, that I hope is much ado about nothing. But the Padres today, just kind of tell us, Joe Musgrove coming off the season-long injury, they didn't say shut it down, but he's not going to do anything for 3 or 4 or 5 days. They say it's kind of normal, a little soreness. We kind of expected it. Yeah. I don't worry too much about it. I get worried
like
about
you
it.
are worried, though.
I am worried about it.
Matt, you have no idea. He's very worried.
I
am
because every time I hear that a guy's just going to be out for a couple of days, a couple of days becomes a couple of weeks, and a couple of weeks becomes a couple of months. What is going on in baseball with the injuries in the sense that, I don't know, it seemed like guys used to just rub dirt on it and come back and play the next day. Is it because we have so much more information now? Is it because there's so much more money at stake? But it seems like most injuries last a little longer than they're initially said. Would you at least agree to that?
Maybe, but
okay.
I think part of it is they're so much bigger and stronger. And when you talk about all the Tommy John surgeries, they throw that much harder. And I remember when I interviewed Dr. James Andrews back in the day, and he said, hey, look, Sandy Koufax's career was cut short because his arm fell apart. So it's not like it's a brand new thing when people are having arm injuries. I mean, we saw, examples where careers got cut shorter. Mark Fidrich was probably very, very overworked early in his career. Fernando Valenzuela, after the first 5 or 6 years, there was nothing left in there. So I think people are trying to avoid that, first of all. Secondly, he's coming off major surgery, and when you look at the Padres rotation right now, it's not the deepest, and you have concerns on King as well on getting a full season. So I think they're probably just your glass half full discussion here would be they're just slow playing this thing, and they're trying to make sure he can get through the entire season without running into an issue where when it matters, now you have to shut him down for 3 or 4 weeks. So I think this is a slow play. I think it's all part of it. I think it's all mapped out.
All right, we're talking to Matt Snyder here.
Matt. I
Steven,
trust you.
Thank you, Matt. Because when I say that, he's like, I don't believe it.
I don't believe it.
Whatever you say, I'm going to believe the opposite.
Yeah, I've just looked this up. Jackson Merrill last year was out for a couple of days when he tweaked his hamstring, and officially he missed a month. That's kind of what I'm nervous about. Yeah, that's all.
A lot of times on the muscle things, I do think part of it is they're so much bigger and stronger than they used to be. I think another part of it is they don't want to play hurt because they're worried it will get hurt worse.
Yeah.
And, if you've ever pulled a hamstring before, I made it until I was like early 40s, and then officiating football, I pulled one. Holy cow, man. Every time you think it gets close and you start to run again, then you feel it again.
True.
So hamstrings can be tricky, man.
Yeah, for sure. Matt Snyder is with us. Matt, you just talked about the Padres, the depth of pitching. When you hear names like German Marquez, Walker Buehler pitched today, you hear Tristan McKenzie, you hear Griffin Canning, who hopefully will be healthy. Marco Gonzalez, another one. Should we have any faith in any of these guys? It seems like there's stories where guys kind of reach a point where it's time to move somewhere else. And a lot of these guys can come back with one more good season. It's the way the Padres have kind of chosen to try and fill that 4 or 5 spot. Do you think it's going to work? I guess I'll ask for your prediction on this.
It can. I mean, okay, so Canning, we saw Griffin Canning, for example, really good results with the Mets before he ruptured his Achilles last year. So maybe late in the year, there's a shot in the arm there. Herman Marquez, I'm not seeing it, but being freed from Colorado, being in Colorado your entire life, having to pitch half your games in Coors, that has to take a toll mentally and do a lot to your stuff. So I always want to see, and by no means is it a hard and fast rule because we've seen guys leave Colorado and not get any better. But I always want to see a guy get freed from Colorado, and then how does he do there? So there's a possibility there. I want to know what's going on with Lucas Giolito. If they're asking too much money, for too much money, you're at the point right now in the spring where you should take a 1 year, even if it's an incentive-laden deal. And I would love the Padres to just throw Giolito in the rotation right now. He's not that bad for the Red Sox, and it was his first year off Tommy John surgery. So I kind of feel like you could lengthen it out a little bit, and I would much rather him than Herman Marquez, for example. But, it is possible with some of the names that you brought up that maybe you find a little something in there. And I know that's Tristan McKenzie is another one you're looking for. Hey, what do you get there? As you mentioned, Walker Buehler, there's a Marco Gonzalez in there. Like, it's so many guys that used to be in rotations somewhere, and Giolito's still sitting there on the market. Sorry I strayed there, but
no worries.
Anytime I look at a team like the Padres or the Braves with all the injuries they've had, I'm like pulling my hair out. How have neither one of those guys signed Lucas Giolito?
What was your score on the Immaculate Grid today? Did you do it yet?
I don't know, Matt. Do you do it every single day?
I do.
Yes, I do. I actually had a really, really good one today. I had a 7 today.
A 7? Wow. I was in the 30s, so okay.
Give me that in a baseball score. What's a 7?
Oh, it's an A++.
So it's like beating someone 13-0.
Whatever. It's an A++.
It's like I hit for the cycle or hit 2 bombs.
Anything in single digits is having a good day in the Immaculate Grid. All right. Thanks, Matt. We appreciate you as always.
All right, have a good
catch
one.
up to you soon.
Thanks,
Matt Snyder. Anybody that does the Immaculate Grid knows what we're speaking of. The rest of you are like, what are you talking about?
Just type in Immaculate Grid. It's fun, but it's very difficult. It's very difficult.
It can
for
be
people
difficult
without knowledge. Like
if you're a freaky baseball fan like I am, Matt Snyder obviously is. I think you'd enjoy doing the Immaculate Grid. It's pretty self-explanatory, so look it up if you want to try it. And they have one every day. It's kind of a fun little.
And you can go back in time and do all the other ones.
It's kind of a fun game you can play online every day if you're a baseball fan.
Matt Snyder of CBS Sports was brought to you by the SDCCU Fan Hotline. It's not big bank banking. It's better.
Yes, it is. We are going to get into some daily gambit stuff. You know that Air Force team that beat the Aztecs women the other day in shocking fashion? They won again, and they're now playing for the conference championship, Scrape.
Oh, well, that makes me feel a little bit better. How about you?
I don't know how it makes me feel. We'll preview their game and all the rest of the stuff coming up in sports and the Gambit next.
Hey, it's Scrape. I've been a member of Kaiser Permanente for 7 years. Why? What are we doing, guys?
I'm going to see the museum for the first time ever. It's going to be sweet. See my dad's plaque. See where Trevor's plaque is going to be. It's going to be pretty dope.
Chris, I'm going to go to the Hall of Fame for the second time because I went earlier today, but I'm going in to see Tony go into the Hall of Fame. So all the way straight and back left.
Straight back left.
Straight on that back wall.
This one?
Yeah.
How you feeling, Tony?
I don't know how I'm feeling right now, honestly.
Excited?
I'm definitely excited. Hello. Eric, how you doing? Pretty good. Wow.
Just like I told you, next to the famous Barney Dreyfus and Leslie Wilkinson, whoever they are.
That does look like them.
I know. It's a good shot. They don't do them all that great. That one's good. Really good.
I missed a year. 300. Must have been bad. Huh? I used to be. Not anymore, though.
Oh, it's so cool. What team did you play on?
I can give you a long list of them. Brewers, Padres, Dodgers, Phillies, Nationals.
What position did you play?
I played outfield. This was my dad. Oh, there's Dick Williams, Goose. I think he'd be pretty happy with his company over here. So.
What are you thinking to see it for the first time?
I'm thinking
I'm hot. I'm quite warm right now, but it's cool. I mean, it's what I thought it was going to be. I mean, who not too many people can say they have a dad that's enshrined in this place. So I think this is awesome.
What are we doing, guys?
I'm going to see the museum for the first time ever. It's going to be sweet. See my dad's plaque. See where Trevor's plaque is going to be. It's going to be pretty dope.
Chris,
I'm going to go to the Hall of Fame for the second time because I went earlier today, but I'm going in to see Tony go into the Hall of Fame. So all the way straight and back left.
Straight back left.
Straight on that back wall.
This one?
Yeah.
How you feeling, Tony?
I don't know how I'm feeling right now, honestly.
Excited?
I'm definitely excited. Hello, Eric. How you doing? You good? Wow.
Just like I told you, next to the famous Barney Dreyfus and Leslie Wilkinson, whoever they are.
That does look like them.
I know. It's a good shot. They don't do them all that great. That one's good. Really good.
I missed a year. 300. Must have been bad. Huh? I used to be. Not anymore, though.
Oh, it's so cool. What team did you play on?
I can give you a long list of them. Brewers, Padres, Dodgers, Phillies, Nationals.
What position did you play?
I played outfield. This was my dad. Oh, there's Dick Williams, Goose. I think he'd be pretty happy with his company over here. So.
What are you thinking to see it for the first time?
I'm thinking
I'm hot. I'm quite warm right now, but it's cool. I mean, it's what I thought it was going to be. I mean, who not too many people can say they have a dad that's enshrined in this place. So I think this is awesome.
What are we doing, guys?
I'm going to see the museum for the first time ever. It's going to be
spring training, where he is monitoring and announcing, along with Jesse Agler, Padres baseball against the Angels. I still want to call them the Anaheim Angels. Frankly, I didn't mind the California Angels. I think a lot of people took exception to that, like,
because you're owning our state.
Right. Why do they get to name themselves the whole state?
It does make sense because there's no team in California. I guess Golden State Warriors would be the closest.
I mean,
they're all city names.
I'm trying to think of other, like Texas Rangers.
Yeah.
Like, why do they get all of Texas? There's Houston there.
That is true. That is, they were first, though.
They were not first. The Houston
Astros were before
Astros
them?
yes, the Houston Colt 45s
Yeah, I do remember
came into
that.
being in 1962 with the Mets, the original Mets, then the Colt 45s, they were together in the National League. Texas Rangers did not become that until the Washington Senators moved there. And I want to say that was 71 or 72 in that area. So,
Wow, I
yeah,
had
no,
no
you're
idea.
actually, the Astros have been there longer. Padres lead the California/Anaheim LA Angels 8-2 in the bottom of the sixth inning.
What about the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim?
I hated that. That was absolutely awful. Wasn't it?
It was funny. It was
You
like, what are you
liked
trying
it?
to do here? Why do we need this?
The San Diego Padres of California.
Yeah.
Just the dumbest. That was the dumbest name ever.
How long did that last, I wonder?
A year at least, but it was too long. We'll keep you up to date on the Padres and the Halos. We haven't touched on any football yet, but there's a lot of football to touch on today, and we'll get to it probably in the next segment or two. But the Jets feel like they've solved it all by bringing Geno Smith back. Yeah, that's got to be the reaction in the Big Apple today, right?
Yeah.
Like what? I think this is a good move for the Patriots. Romeo Dobbs. I think he's a solid receiver.
Oh, he's on the Patriots?
Yeah,
Oh, that
4-year
is
deal.
a solid move.
Dobbs. He looks like Dobbs, but I think they call it Dobbs.
Yeah. He's one of those guys who wears the Guardian cap.
He does, but he's a good receiver, and he goes to New England. They need a good receiver. And the Lions lost David Montgomery.
Mm-hmm.
The Chiefs got Kenneth Walker. Now
Huge.
the Lions get the Chiefs' old guy, Isaiah Pacheco. Goes to the Lions today.
I
Free
also
agent
like
move.
that. Isaiah Pacheco, if he could stay healthy, he is such a hard runner.
He should be able to stay healthy now because he's not going to play a lot.
No,
as
not
he's
the number
behind
one.
your guy,
Jahmyr Gibbs.
who was, pretty
Incredible.
damn good.
Yeah.
Pretty damn good. Anyway, those are a couple of football moves we'll talk about later. All right, let's go big daily gambit. Big daily gambit 5.
Do you like money?
I think about money a lot.
Do you like money without doing anything?
Winning.
Do you want to make money while watching sports?
I think Washington is immortal luck.
Washington! Woohoo! If you answered yes, this is your segment. Just don't blame us when you lose.
Nothing is ever your fault.
It's your game. Take it.
Gwynn and Chris go through the top bets of the day in The Daily Gambit on 97.3 The Fan.
Daily Gambit is our daily sports betting segment here on Gwynn and Chris. Please, everybody, gamble responsibly.
I'm wondering if we, even though we put the odds in there for fun, maybe we should just change the name of this.
What?
Well, no, Daily Gambit's a good name.
Why? What's
But
going
maybe
on?
we describe it as our daily game preview segment. I know that sounds a little wordy.
Our
but you know what I'm saying?
daily preview of all the games.
Yeah, that's like the
segment.
Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim segment.
But
it's no good.
But we're talking about betting now.
I know we are. But honestly, people don't believe me when I say this. This segment to me works because it gives us a chance to talk about some of the games that were played yesterday and some of the games that are coming up tonight. It just gives us a little flow into previewing some of the action.
Augie,
but I know some people think it's really bad that we do it because we hate gambling. But
okay, I've said this a million times. Said this a million times.
All right.
I'm fine with someone gambles. I'm not fine with the predatory nature of gambling.
And as we say often, gamble only what you can afford.
Yeah.
Stop gambling the rent check.
Yes,
out
you
there.
can't. Do not chase your losses. Augie says trying to downplay gambling. I believe they're joking, but we say all the time, you have to be on top of your game when you're gambling. Do not chase losses. Do not bet more than you can afford.
I feel like we're Sam Malone in Cheers, who was an alcoholic and then bought a bar.
Yeah.
We talk about don't gamble, and then we do our gambit. And just, you know what? I'm trying to find a way out of this, but I'm not going to find it anymore. You all deal with it. That's it.
Yeah.
All right. We don't have any games yesterday, did we?
Nope.
All right. So we're going to get into what we got tonight. We got the West Coast Conference Championship game tonight. Gonzaga, 8.5 favorite over Santa Clara. Santa Clara upset St. Mary's last night. The Santa Clara Broncos are coached by a guy named Herb Sendek. I believe if he wins tonight, he would be the first coach ever in college basketball to take 5 different teams to the NCAA tournament. The guy's a good coach. He just is never – he was at North Carolina State for a lot of years, got kind of unceremoniously fired even though he was successful. So it's not surprising that he's got Santa Clara good. On the other side is Gonzaga, is always Gonzaga.
Yeah.
What do you like here? 8.5. The Broncos are, kind of
8.5. I wrote 3.5.
No,
I'm going
8.5.
Santa Clara.
You're going to take Santa Clara. Attaboy. It's kind of one of your hometown squads almost.
Not really. I mean, they're in the same town as the 49ers.
Have you ever been to Toso Pavilion?
I have never been
on the
to
campus
Tosa.
of Santa Clara.
I do know that
I have.
Steve Nash went to Santa Clara.
Yes, he did. I'm going to take Santa Clara too, just because Gonzaga has not been great this year. They're good, obviously, but not as good. BYU 11.5 over Kansas State. It's first round matchup in the Big 10 or Big 12. I just thought this was interesting. The Big 12, BYU was supposed to be a top 10 team this year. If you go back to the preseason, BYU spent more money in NIL practically than any other school. And the folks in BYU territory are rightly a little bit upset that like all that money bought a team that finished 10th in the Big 12.
They have a right to be.
Yeah, it was a big, they spent like Michigan money, but they finished 10th. Kansas State finished 15th and fired their coach along the way.
Oh, yes. Okay. Yeah. I remember. These
are the guys that don't deserve to wear the uniform.
I am not going to pick them.
All right. You got to give 11.5 if you're taking BYU.
These guys have already given up. I'm going BYU.
You know what? I would never take BYU, so I'll take K-State. Virginia Tech 1.5 over Wake Forest. This is the classic 12-13 matchup in the ACC tournament. I have no idea. Here, Scrabe, any thoughts?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm
going to go Vautech.
Dart at the board. Vautech. I'm surprised you didn't take Wake Forest.
I know, because it's my favorite school.
It's one of your favorites.
Fine. You want to take Vautech? I'll take Wake.
I will take Vautech. You take Wake.
Okay.
Why did you like Wake? I can't remember the story.
I don't remember either.
You confused them with somebody.
No, it was during a Chris's Fantabulous Sports game show where I said Wake Forest and it was wrong, and then
just kind of became attributed to you.
Yes, it did.
All right, here's the women's game in the Mountain West Conference Championship. Colorado State is supposed to be there. I thought they would be there. Air Force is not supposed to be there. I thought the Aztecs would be there, but Air Force beat the Aztecs and then shockingly won again last night. They beat Boise State. Can Air Force, the 9 seed, win the 4th game in 4 days against the heavily favored by 10.5 Colorado State Rams? I saw the magic of Air Force. I saw it up close. I'm worried that they're going to be on fumes. But I'll take them anyway.
All right.
Why not?
10.5 points.
10.5. Colorado State.
Now, you've seen Colorado State. Are they a team that
Colorado State,
they're up and down, right?
Well, they've had a great year. I thought they were the second best team in the league behind us. And I thought we would play them in the finals, but we didn't get there. So Colorado State, though, is more defensive-minded. Doesn't mean they can't score in the 70s. But they normally win, 50, 60-point type games. That's another reason I'm taking Air Force. I think Colorado State just doesn't score enough to get over that spread.
I'm thinking the magic is over. I'll go Colorado State.
It's possible that Air Force just runs out there tonight and just collapses on the floor.
I mean, that is a lot of games played. A lot of high-emotion games.
Yeah. Minnesota Timberwolves, 2.5 over the Lakers. This is at Los Angeles tonight. Still trying to figure out the Lakers. There are so many LeBron haters now. You can't, my old line, you can't swing a dead cat without hitting a LeBron hater right now. They're coming out of the woodwork. Brian Windhorst was out there yesterday going, statistically, it shows, and whatever analytics he was using, the Lakers are a far better team when LeBron is not on the court than when he is on the court.
Brian Windhorst should be quiet because LeBron helped him get to where he is.
Well, I mean, LeBron is taking arrows from every angle. I can't scroll more than, a couple of moves on my Twitter feed without seeing an image of him flopping on the floor.
You're the only one that gets this out. I haven't
seen any of these?
I haven't seen one.
Well,
and I've looked for them.
They are everywhere.
Luka, on the other hand, is the biggest complainer I have ever seen in NBA history, I will say.
He's right up there with...
He got fined the other day because he fell to the ground and he did the money sign, which I thought was a bad thing, but apparently if Luka does it, it's not a bad thing, but if Puka does it, Puka and Luka.
Puka and Luka. Luka got a $50,000 fine for that.
Yeah, but Puka got in huge trouble for it. I don't know. Anyway, go ahead.
All right.
It's my bet.
Minnesota 2.5 over the Lakers.
I'll go T-Wolves.
Yeah. I can't figure out the Lakers, but LeBron's playing, so they suck. I'll take the T-Wolves. Doncic 3 points over Ant-Man in this game. I'm going to take Doncic. He gets 38 at least every game.
He does.
It's incredible. And some of the shots he makes, because you're right about the complaining. It's getting old, and he's taking a lot of heat for it. But when the guy can dance off 1 foot and fall into the front row while he's throwing up a 30-foot three-pointer,
a prayer,
and it doesn't even hit the rim, it's just I don't know what to say about this guy. He's unbelievable. I'll take him.
I'm going to go Ant-Man. He's been on kind of a good streak lately.
All right, LeBron 29.5 points plus rebounds plus assists. 29.5. LeBron, the ultimate numbers chaser, according to those who hate him.
Why are we trying to tear down LeBron so much? You're leading the charge, so don't shake your head like you're not part of this.
Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just reading what people are writing on my Twitter feed daily. I mean, when LeBron got that triple-double about a month ago to become the oldest guy ever to have a triple-double, they had the game won, but he stayed in the game, and then they called the timeout because Austin Reeves took a rebound away from him when he needed one more rebound. A lot of people thought, it's all about LeBron, the number. They don't like him, man. They don't like this guy. 29.5. You're up. Maybe it's Michael Jordan, people that are coming back.
Probably.
Trying to defend Jordan.
It's all and I'm not saying this about you, it's all the old people that can't handle another great. I'm going to go over.
Are you assuming that I'm an old person?
I did. See, that's
right.
why I told you before. I disclaimered.
All right, I'm going to say under. And one more. Bruins 1.5 over the Kings. Kings fired their coach recently. I think I told you that, and you had no idea.
You're right.
The Kings are not in a playoff position right now. They are about 4 points out. So they need these wins. Bruins are in a similar spot in the East. Game is in Beantown. I'll take the Kings tonight. Why not? Who do you want? 1.5.
Can I ask a question that might be
Go for
weird?
Mm-hmm.
Do they have bears in Boston?
Like, why are they called the Boston Bruins?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's where my mind goes, but I don't know that they have bears there. I'm going to go with the Bruins.
I think that's a fair question. I mean, they have the UCLA Bruins.
But there are bears in
there must be a bear somewhere in the state of Massachusetts at the zoo or something.
Bears in Boston. Oh, black bears are emerging from dens in Massachusetts.
There you go.
4 days ago.
How many sharks live in San Jose, Scrape? San Jose is a landlocked city. I'm just saying. I mean, you could do this for almost every team and have a bit of an issue with it.
I think I would love to go through and find the origin story of every team name.
I know the Dolphins' origin story.
Well, they're in Miami?
No. Well, no. They sent out a whole back in the mid-'60s when they came in. They put it out for people to write in. And most people wrote in dolphins because they were a smart, intelligent marine animal.
Well, they are.
Or mammal.
They're great.
Yeah, it easily won, but it was picked by fans more than anything.
Did you know back in the day?
Way back when.
There was a place where I grew up. It was called Marine World, and I got to go pet the dolphins during one of those shows.
You could have done that at SeaWorld all these years.
Well,
I think you can actually. You still might actually be able to do that at SeaWorld. I think. I don't know if they still have swim with the dolphins or not.
I don't know. I don't see them
pricey.
I don't see them taking the liability.
It's pretty pricey, but I think you can still jump in there with the dolphins as long as people are around and you pay a bunch of money.
I would do that.
It's fun. It's fun. I've done it.
Although dolphins are fun. I would do that.
Okay.
I would not do it with the manta rays, like I said.
Yeah, you don't need to go with this or the sharks. Maybe not.
Someone did mention that San Jose is on the bay, so
Okay, I'll give you that, but it seems landlocked to me.
Sitting on a duck on the
Seems
bay.
landlocked to me. I'll give you the fact that water is within sight.
There's sharks parked right outside.
You can't even get into the arena because the sharks are right there.
They're making sure you can't get in.
No kidding. How many Kings live in Los Angeles, by the way?
One, LeBron.
Ooh, fair enough. Gwynn and Chris takes a short timeout, and then we're back. We get to get into talk about this football stuff. Also, Padre pen pals. Padre fans, don't go too far. Gwynn and Chris resumes.
From the
I actually got in trouble once when I worked at the bank for looking up a celebrity, and
Ferris comes set and ready. Padres lead at all three bases. The 2-1 pitch hit in the air to left field and deep. Adele is back. He's at the wall looking up. This one gonna go. Grand slam, Jace Bowen. His second home run of the spring, and this one will clear the bases. Padres have broken it open here in the fourth. It's 7-2.
You know what I love about Judge? Oh, you cut Tony off there. Don't cut.
Oh wait, he's still talking. Let me go back a few seconds.
Don't cut
Here
Tony
in the
off.
fourth, it's 7-2.
Not a cheapie by any means.
Okay, that's what we cut off.
You just cut him off again.
Well, okay, you want me to go back again?
Well, he's not on the show. I want to hear him as much as we can.
You know what? You're right. Let me stop the music and present this.
Let's hear from Tony.
With respect.
2.
Not a cheapie by any means. This ball clears the second wall and hits a tree out in left center. Jace Bowen displaying one of the many tools this young man has in his toolbox. Grand slam puts the Padres up 7-2.
Good job, T. That's what I want to hear.
That was nice.
And I want to congratulate both announcers, Tony Gwynn Jr. and Jesse Agler. Neither of them said grand slam home run, because that is like nails across a chalkboard for me, Scrabe.
I understand.
When anybody says grand slam home run, I want to just jump out the roof. There are no grand slam triples, people. Don't need to say home run.
What if?
What?
Never mind. I was trying to come up with something, but I can't. I can't. Just we're gonna move forward.
All right, let's move forward. NFL news. Your thought on Geno back to the Jets? Do you know that they have been apart for 9 years? I didn't remember this. Geno Smith was the Jets starter. I want to find this so I get it right.
For a couple of years, right?
A couple of years. He was the starter for 29 games with the Jets.
That's a lot.
He threw 34 picks in his first 2 seasons. He was poised to, now this I don't remember. See if you remember this. He was supposed to be the week 1 starter for the Jets in 2015.
I know where you're going.
But he missed several weeks after he was punched by backup linebacker IK and M. Kapali in a dispute over $600.
Well,
do you remember that?
Yes,
Where
I do.
was I?
I do. And I believe it was over, it was a charity appearance.
Okay.
I called him Deshaun Watson. Who are we talking about? Geno Smith.
Yeah.
He was supposed to show up. I believe this is a story. He was supposed to show up at some charity thing, and he just didn't.
Who didn't?
Geno did not show up to this guy's charity thing.
Okay, but something about $600, and M. Kapali punched him, knocked him out. You know who came in for Geno Smith after M. Kapali flattened him?
Mark Sanchez?
Ryan Fitzpatrick threw a franchise record 31 touchdowns and led the Jets to a 10-6 record that year.
That is crazy.
And that was the end, really, of Geno Smith with the Jets. Well, he's back now. Coming off really an awful season. There's only one way to describe it, right?
Oh, here it is. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Geno Smith had promised to attend his football camp, and so the player paid for his airfare to go to Texas.
Oh, my goodness. And then he didn't show?
The tickets were worth $1,200 with the sides to agree going 50-50 on the price, and he just didn't show up.
Wow. That's pretty weak.
But he said he
Smith.
promised. The quarterback had not attended, he said, after a bike accident landed his brother in the hospital a few days prior. Smith said
that was Geno Smith's excuse.
Yes.
Doesn't sound like he called the guy and said, hey, I can't make it. It just sounds like he didn't show up.
It sounds like he was a bad teammate.
Sounds like Geno Smith was not a great guy 10 years ago.
This isn't even a great move for them now.
It's a terrible move for the Jets. It's such an expected move for the Jets. And they had to give up a 6th-round pick to get it. And a 7th-round pick.
Oh, they gave up 2 picks.
Oh, no. I'm sorry. They sent a 6th. They got back a 7th.
Okay.
Anyway, this is a Jets move. I mean, let's just pick up a washed-up, terrible quarterback and anoint him as the starter.
I mean, who else are you going to –
I don't know.
Aaron Glenn is not going to make it through this year by the sheer fact that this team is terrible.
What was your reaction when I first told you earlier? You went, ugh. And I thought that's got to be the collective reaction in Manhattan today and in Queens and everywhere else.
I don't know. Geno Smith had like a really great year maybe 3 years ago.
Yes, but he was with a very good team around him. He had players making plays. What do the Jets have? Well, they do have the one guy
Garrett
from
Wilson
Ohio State.
And Brees Hall.
I just wonder if Garrett Wilson isn't just like beat down by now.
He's got to be.
You know what?
His
You
friend
lose.
Sauce is gone.
Right. You just lose every game for 4 straight seasons. Eventually, you're like, it's hard to keep suiting up.
You know who Garrett Wilson's quarterbacks have been? Like Zach Wilson.
He had Darren Rodgers for about a quarter and a half.
I don't even think he got a pass from Aaron Rodgers. I'm not sure.
Either. Yeah.
He's had guys like Justin Fields, Tyrod Taylor. He's had some terrible quarterbacks.
Yeah. I don't know. We can get into this whole thing about the Tua, but it's just there's so many bad quarterbacks and teams just keep going to them. I don't get it. And I'm sure their argument is they're better than what else we could get. Who signed, was it yesterday? Kenny Pickett, $7 million. As soon as I saw that, all of a sudden I almost had to agree with Adam that Tua for $1 million is a good deal.
You don't almost have to agree. You do have to agree.
I know. If you're giving $7 million for Kenny Pickett, every time the guy comes into the game, it's a disaster. Why would you even waste the time? But then again, look at the Dolphins last year. They knew Zach Wilson was horrible. They brought him in, and then even when it was time for him to come in, they didn't use him. They went to their other guy, Quinn Ewers.
Yeah.
Like, teams just are stupid. Like, that this isn't going to work out for Geno Smith on the Jets. You just know it isn't.
I think we know that because he's at the end of his career, and this team is not going to give him any help.
And he wasn't good to begin with. All right. The only way Geno Smith has a good year is if Tony luckily picks him up in fantasy like he did 3 years ago when he was good. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, Padre Pen Pals. It's going to be a good addition. Scraby says he's got some great questions today.
I think so.
I have to, I'll see it when I believe it.
Okay.
But we're coming up with that, and you Padre fans, stick around on Gwynn and Chris.
Ben and Wood.
we don't like to include any politics and anything going on in the world out there because I know everybody's thinking so strongly of everything. And
no, we're an escape.
Yes, that's right. We're an escape from all that, and we appreciate that. We know you don't come here to hear this, but this is almost sports related, so I had to throw this in. There was some gal on the Newsmax channel. I don't know.
I don't know what channel it is, but
I don't either. Newsmax, and her name is Alina Habba. She's a lawyer for President Trump. This has nothing to do with Trump or anything else, but they asked her a question about something about Kamala Harris speaking at Jesse Jackson's memorial service. And, because, of course, she's more on the Republican side. She's going to be critical of Kamala Harris. That was, nobody'd be surprised by that. But she said, I think if you look at Kamala Harris and her remarks about Reggie Jackson she went with Reggie Jackson instead of Jesse Jackson.
I didn't even think about it either.
You didn't get it, did you? Yeah.
It didn't even hit me either. Wow.
She called him Reggie Jackson.
Oh, man, it didn't even hit me.
And she didn't stop either. She didn't notice it either. But I just thought that was funny.
That is kind of funny.
Yeah, you're trying to get a crack in on somebody. You kind of want to get the names right on that.
You definitely have to.
I thought that was funny. Yeah. Yeah, you got to be, when you're talking about the death of Reggie Jackson, I want it to be straight on. I want it to be on point.
And Reggie's still with us,
right? Reggie's still with us, yeah. Poor Reggie was watching these Newsmax, and he's like, what? What happened?
Yeah, what happened? I'm dead?
Yeah. Anyway, some of the comedy stylings of what's going on out in the world. All right, Chris Ello, Scraby, Tony's in, not Peoria, Tempe, I believe. With this Padre game. Right now, 9-2 Padres was the last I saw.
It's still at 9-2.
All right, they're in the top of the 8th inning. Walker Buehler started 3 2/3 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs. Bradley Rodriguez, another 2-inning perfect inning of relief.
You just mentioned 2 of the guys in our Padres pen pals, so it's good timing.
All right, well, let's get to Padre pen pals once we check some traffic, sir.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center. Injured? Demand justice. Demand Jurowitz. 855GetRoss.com. Here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Creative Repipe. Off to kind of a busy start this afternoon, especially along eastbound 52. Financing available.
Uh-oh. Did we record over something?
I didn't do anything.
Yeah, I know that's a Kelly Danick thing, right?
And let's see.
Do you want me to do the traffic?
No.
I'll do it. I can do it.
We don't need it.
I can do it off the top of my head.
Okay, go for it.
Things are starting to jam up with the 5805 merger going north up there. Things are a little tight on the 8 through Mission Valley. And there's a ladder in the lanes on the 52 because there just always is.
And get that ladder out of the lanes,
Get
idiots.
that lane out of there. Yeah, get it out of there. There's your traffic report. Anyway, Kelly obviously was a technical error there.
Yeah,
Is that what should we call that?
I guess so.
Okay.
Let me take... Hold on. I got to wait for this to finish, and now we can do this.
Do you have a sports issue, San Diego?
Dang it!
Do you need a third party to make
That messed me up. That was stupid.
What happened?
I played the wrong open. Just like she said Reggie Jackson, I played
Oh,
sports
yeah,
court
you were doing
for
sports
Padres
court.
pen
Yeah,
pals.
thanks, Reggie Jackson. Nice job.
Like, how does that happen 5 seconds after you present that story?
Yeah. All right, Padre pen pals, and away we go.
It's time to ask the experts, Padres fans.
I was hoping maybe you can bring a little insight into it.
Write us, tweet us, Facebook us, send a carrier pigeon for Chris. He thinks they're cute. Padres Pen Pals begins.
Hurt the pelota big time.
Now on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, I actually got a couple of these messages, and then I came across something, Chris, that I think you are going to really like in regards to stats.
I like stats.
Last year, you were a guy who followed the 3-run home run for the Padres.
I did all season long, yes,
All
and
season.
we never hit too many of them, as it turned out.
Nope. Before we get into it, if you love Mediterranean food, try Spiro's for authentic Mediterranean cuisine in Coronado or La Jolla. For dining or takeout options, visit spiroscuisine.com.
As a matter of fact, we had so few home runs with guys on base last year that there was actually talk that we'd have to give up the name Slam Diego.
That's crazy because that is named after one part of a season in 2020, right? Was it 2020, 2021 maybe?
2021, I think, when they hit the 7 grand slams in 5 games or some crazy thing. I know, but are we still Slam Diego and we're not hitting many of them?
Well, good thing there's no other teams with Diego in it because they can't steal the name.
They can't take it. Okay.
All right, but this has to do with home runs. And I stumbled across this. Since 2000, excluding 2020, there have been 19 World Series where both participating teams featured at least one player who hit 30 or more home runs during the regular season. We're currently in a stretch where 5 consecutive full seasons have seen, or full playoffs have seen, 30 home run hitters on both World Series teams. Further, since the year 2000, a winning World Series team has featured at least one 30 home run hitter 21 times. So basically, you have a guy who hits 30 home runs.
You got a shot.
You got a shot.
So you're saying 80% of the World Series winners in this
Since
century
2000
have had a 30-run home run hitter, and you're going to ask me,
do the Padres
does that
need
give
a
the Padres
30-plus
shot?
home run hitter this year to get to the World Series?
Yeah, they do.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Let's have a couple of them. I know Petco Park doesn't make it easy, but yeah, you got to have. I mean, Manny's got to get. He didn't quite make 30 last year, did he?
No
It's a
one
little
made 30
shy.
last year, I don't believe.
I think in this day and age, a 30 home run hitter is almost a necessity. I do. I mean, everybody's got at least one or two guys now.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the home run is what it's all about. Luis Arises are being, squeezed out of the game in favor of guys who can hit the long ball and strike out 200 times. That's baseball now. I appreciate what the Padres tried to do last year, and they had success with it. Line drives, use the whole field, go the other way, Petco Park, the whole thing. But ultimately, and this is why I kept writing the 3-run home run, and everybody said, what's the big deal? I said, I don't know what the big deal is. I just know you seem to need them to win.
Yeah.
It's too hard to get 3 runs by stacking 5 hits together or 6 hits together.
Yeah.
But in one swing,
you can get all of
and
that.
the Padres didn't have that last year. So, yeah, I think a 30 home run guy, and I think we got enough candidates for it. So,
do you know off the top of your head here, I was going to do this as a Chris versus fans question, but I think it's way too hard. When was the last World Series matchup with neither team having 30? It's within the last 15 years.
I'm going to say Mets and Royals.
That's close.
Yeah, because the Royals didn't seem to have any.
Giants.
Oh, okay.
In 2014.
Missed it by 1 year.
The other one was 1980 something.
Oh, so it just hardly ever happens.
Hardly ever happens.
Yeah, I mean, there's always a 30 home run hitter on a World Series squad.
All right, I felt good about my stat.
Good research,
digging.
though.
Yes,
Good job.
I stumbled upon it, and I hope I stumble upon some more.
I'm giving you a good one there.
Thank you. Next one. I've been thinking a lot about this roster, and I think AJ has done a good job, but I think they need to trade Bradley Rodriguez before the season. The bullpen's going to be okay. You may be able to get back some good players, maybe even a major leaguer. Now, as I said, the roster is pretty complete, but I'm always looking for the Padres to get better. I guess I'll go first. Would you trade Bradley Rodriguez before the season? Before the season, no. I mean, before the season is not going to happen. Now, if we get to a point where Bradley Rodriguez is on a heater and we're at the trade deadline and he's fetching a lot of interest and you can get someone that's going to complete some sort of piece that you need, I think you do. But I think what they're saying, because we kind of had a discussion, is they don't want his value to go down. His value will be never be lower, which is not true because his value could go up here in this season. Bottom line, I would not trade Bradley Rodriguez before the year. Likely not even trade him during the year. But that's my answer.
That was you.
Yes.
Because I'm the one who wrote this question.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, I just disguised it as somebody else.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
They absolutely should trade this guy. I said it all along. Tony, I think, almost went as far as to agree with me. I don't think Bradley Rodriguez's stock can be a whole lot higher than it is right now. This guy is poised, everybody says it, to be the next lights-out guy. The Padres already have 5 lights-out guys.
They do.
They just don't need a 6th. What they need is a slugger, another guy that could potentially hit 30 home runs. Now, can Bradley Rodriguez fetch that? Maybe not. But I think the Padres have other areas of concern. And I would be willing to take a shot that Bradley Rodriguez could go to the Royals or the Twins and be the next great closer if I could get a big bat that I could really count on in exchange.
Yeah.
So I would trade. I wouldn't wait if I could find the deal.
See, that's what I was thinking.
Is if he gets into the season and he pitches lights out, I think people already think he's lights out. But if he gets into the season and gives up a couple of bombs and has to get sound down the minor leagues,
he's just another guy.
Now you just lost it. So that's my thinking. I would trade this guy. I know I understand you talk about a risk. That's always a risk, a young up and coming guy, but I want to win now. I don't need a closer. I have Mason Miller, hopefully for 3-4 years.
Yep.
That's my thinking.
Yeah. And if a team trades for him, they're likely trading for him to be the closer, so you could maybe get a little bit more for that, because they're not going to trade for him because relievers that are just fifth inning, sixth inning guys.
They're a bit more of a dime or dozen now because everybody's got a bunch of these hard-throwing 99-mile-an-hour guys.
True.
But I do feel like Bradley Rodriguez has caught everyone's eye, and sometimes you tend to overrate things you haven't really seen yet.
That's true. It's very true.
That's my thinking.
All right. Nice thinking. This one's about Walker Buehler. You guys and this was an angry person, Chris. This person was not happy with us.
With us, okay.
But just the show in general for
fair enough
for what is it? Furthering this lie of Walker Buehler.
Keep listening, by golly. We don't care if you hate us.
You guys keep saying Walker Buehler has the inside track on the 5th spot in the rotation, but have you seen what he's done the last 2 years? 5.16 ERA, 1.3 whip. His curveball's down 5 miles an hour from his pre-Tommy John form and has less drop, also less RPM. His sweepers lost velocity from last season. It's over, and you should admit it, because the sooner you admit it, the better.
Okay.
Chris?
Yeah.
What say you to this person?
I'm only saying what I think is happening.
Okay.
And I think what's happening is that the Padres feel like Walker Buehler is the best guy for that 5th spot, and they would like to see him get it. That's what I said. That did not mean I guarantee Walker Buehler is going to be the Walker Buehler of 2021 or 2. He's not.
He's not.
Even he says he's not.
Yeah.
But he also said that for whatever reason, his arm just doesn't hurt anymore. And you can talk about the 2 seasons he had, last 2 years. I'm here to tell you that when the Dodgers needed somebody to close out the World Series in 2024, it was Walker Buehler that they went to.
It was.
To clinch it against the Yankees. Is that right?
That's true.
That's not that long ago. And if you want to say, well, but he sure, he stunk last year, he joined the Phillies right at the end and actually pitched okay for them. He really did. I think Walker Buehler's the kind of competitor that I'd be willing to give a shot to. But I'm more propping up Walker Buehler because I think that's what the Padres think. That's my answer to your critique of us.
I appreciate that answer. He played let's see here. He played 3 games for the Phillies in the regular season, and he got 3 wins. So that's a pretty good
3-0 with an 0.66 ERA. You want to tell me that he stunk? I mean,
great, not a great sample size, but
no, but he showed that he can still do something.
Yeah,
down the stretch for a good team. And like I said, the Dodgers used him to clinch the World Series. That's not that long ago. So I like the competitiveness of Buehler. I hated him on the other team, but I want him on my team.
When you were out that last Friday, we were saying, man, it's easier to listen to this guy when he's wearing the brown and gold rather than the Dodger blue.
Right.
All right, I got one more, and it's about Alex Verdugo. I forgot his name for a second.
Yeah, I saw a story on him in the paper today. I did not know he was a minor league guy that the Padres had floating around.
Yeah, he wasn't even invited to Major League Camp.
Did he just stumble upon the complex?
No. Well, actually, Sam interviewed him, and I played some of the clips last night. Okay. He said he lives in Peoria, or he lives in Arizona. So
what, he's like, the whole Alex Verdugo story sounds like he was walking by, kind of like one of those. I don't want to. it's a bad connotation.
Okay.
So I'm just going to say he's walking by like one of those guys that's kind of a drifter, and he's got his bat over his shoulder, and he's got his bag, and he's got his bag hanging from his bat, and he's got his flip-flops on. He's got a glove somewhere, and he's just kind of walking by, and hey, well, look, the Peoria Sports Complex. I ought to pop in there and see what's going on.
That looks open.
And then the next thing you know, they like gave him a uniform, and now he's trying to make the team.
Well, he did say with Sam yesterday that it was either him playing the minor leagues on the East Coast or playing on the West Coast. And he said, I live in Arizona, so I'm going to play on the West Coast. And basically he knows, like, he's got to claw his way back to the major leagues. He's got a long
way to go, right?
But the question is, do you think he will have an impact on the major league level this year, at the major league level?
Do I think so?
I'll go first.
You go.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. There's so many guys ahead of him. And he hasn't been great the last few years. He's only 29 years old, though. I will say that. He's still got youth on his side. But if he doesn't do it this year, maybe another year, it's not looking good for me, in my opinion, this year for Alex Verdugo. Chris?
To me, the last good season for him, you could say 2023 with Boston, he was okay. Had a 2.7 WAR, which is,
decent,
semi-okay. 745 OPS. His 2 800 seasons were 19 and then the shortened 20 season.
Yes.
That's just too long ago for me to expect that he's going to, be able to do it. Now, he had 197 at-bats last year for Atlanta. It's a decent sample size. No home runs. Like none.
Yeah, I was like, he was a bigger power guy, but he's not.
Well, he gets to 13, 14 a year during his career, but none? That didn't bode well for him. So I'm going to say no.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's it for Padres.
He's also another former Dodger, and I've never really gotten over.
I've never heard the guy really speak before, and then I was watching.
I'm sure he's a
he seems like a good
guy. But now he is from Tucson, so that's probably why he's flopping around down in the Arizona area. I just saw him walking. I just picture him walking by the facility, going, "Hey guys, any chance I can throw a uni on and show what I can still do?" And the Padres said, "Yeah, why not?"
Jordan has a great point. Manny's also a former Dodger. So is Yu Darvish.
Manny, I've moved past it. And Manny's time with the Dodgers was just was a detour from life.
It was a detour from life. He did get traded there like in a rental year.
He also took them to the did they make the World Series when he was there?
I think they did. I know he got in trouble because he stepped on the first baseman's
that was
ankle.
Against the Brewers in the playoff, and that was the championship series, which they won. So I'm pretty sure Manny helped them get to the World Series. They lost probably to the Red Sox or to the Astros.
What year was this?
Well,
I'm gonna have to look in the break.
All right, look in the break. We'll clear it up. Maybe it'll be a question in Chris versus the fans.
Oh,
you never know. 833-288-0973. If you want to play some trivia, you could find your way to winning a nice little prize here. So, Las Vegas. In the very end, Fontainebleau Hotel. It's got your name on it, but you got to call.
I actually got in trouble once when I worked at the bank for looking up a celebrity, and it was totally wrong on my part. Totally wrong.
Looking up their account number?
Just I searched their name in the account system. And
Scrappy, what is wrong with you?
I was like 19.
You'd be better off. You'd be better off admitting that you wore your underwear inside out. Frankly,
this guy is just searching up people's accounts.
It only happened that one time because I got caught.
How did you get caught?
The account was flagged, and anybody taking a look at it gets logged. And so I got called into the boss's office like 3 days later.
What did that come? I'm sorry, I gotta ask, but nobody's supposed to be doing this preview. What did that conversation? How did it go?
Well, why were you looking up Paris Hilton? Is that who it was?
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Oh my!
I can neither confirm. That's really funny, Chris, that you just yelled out that name out of all names. No, but I walked in. I got called into the office, and I sat down. And all my boss. I loved her. She was great. Her name was Sharon. Amazing boss. She just slid the piece of paper in front of me.
You knew.
Said, "Did you visit this account?" And I looked. Yeah. She was like, we're going to have to write you up for this. And if you do it again, we're going to have to fire you. And I said, I'll never do it again. And I got out of there as soon as possible. I took everything, but it was not good. Not good.
Just curiosity, huh? He's like, I wonder how much they have in their account.
Yeah. I mean, before I got caught, I did look up athletes. And,
oh my God. I'm so glad you're sitting in this seat now.
Yes, I'm so happy you're not doing any job that can be dangerous to people's futures.
This was in the first year that I was there. I learned my lesson thoroughly.
Chris, as I said, as soon as they walked in, they was like,
yeah,
that's our guy right there.
That's our window.
We're going to take him down.
Yep.
Just lucky I didn't get caught for I can't even say. I'll tell you guys off break whose account I saw and how much money they had sitting in their checking account.
And this was how long ago, too, by the way?
2009, 10. Way before I became a good person.
Didn't Bank America end up getting in trouble? Or was that it was one of those banks got in trouble?
All of them get in trouble for selling information. But
I heard folks like you.
I wasn't selling any information. I was just wanting to see what was going on.
Curious.
I didn't check their account activity, which I could have. Been like, oh, they bought this here. I'm going to go up there. You know, I'm not that creepy.
Well, that's stock.
Oh, yeah, you're not that bad.
Not that creepy.
This is amazing, by the way. We're supposed to be doing.
How are we supposed to do baseball picks under these
I don't think we can
circumstances?
anymore. I think we gotta push it. You guys never did it? Well, I mean,
no, Scrappy, we didn't. We didn't
really? Okay. Like you work at a bank, you're looking at people's account information?
That's
unbelievable.
It only happened for a little bit, and then I got
for a little bit.
I can't stop laughing at this because it is quite hilarious, Scrappy.
But you were saying that I may have gotten robbed or whatever. I actually did get robbed when I worked in San Francisco, and they're called quick change artists.
How long did you work in the banking industry?
8 years. I was a teller supervisor when I finished. I was also the merchant teller, which took in around $150,000 in cash a day. Guess what? Always balanced at the end of the day.
Yeah, I bet.
But there was a guy who walked in. He had about $5,000 in hundreds, and he handed it to me. He said, "Can I get 50s for these?" And I said, you know, it's pretty annoying that he wants
$5,000 in hundreds.
In hundreds, and he wanted $5,000 in 50s. He just wanted 50s instead of hundreds. So I had to go get it from the vault. I come back. I'm starting to count it out, and then he's like starting to ask me questions as I'm counting it out.
He's trying to
what did
I tell you, Chris? This is what I'm talking about.
That window right there.
Hey, this guy was so good that no one saw it coming. But so when I started getting mad at him because I counted out the 50s, he goes, "What are you doing?" I asked for 20s. And I'm like, what? You did not ask for 20s. You asked for 50s, bro. Yeah. I had to go to the vault to get those 50s. And as I was getting all mad and talking to my boss, he took the cash off the counter and put it into this folder that he had on the thing that
the original 5,000 in hundreds.
Yeah, well, he kept going like that, and then I was so mad, I just grabbed it and I threw it in my drawer. And then he was like, "You know what? I'm out of here." And he walked out. And then at the end of the day, $3,000.
He got an extra 3 on you.
$3,000. Yeah, he got $3,000.
The thing about criminals like that, they can sniff out a mark really easy.
I'm not a mark.
You are 1,000%.
I was actually the bank's
dog. They got you for 3 extra.
And that's the only time in my 8 years that I ever had anything happen like that.
I'm sure there are people who've been there 8 years that never had 0 taken.
Scrape, I got a 20 here. Can I get 5 5s, please?
I hate you guys.
Let's get to
that was one of the worst moments of my life. But you know what? It taught me a lot. Never trust anyone ever again.
You know what? You definitely have learned because you don't trust very many people.
I don't trust anyone anymore.
You are.
I actually got in trouble once when I worked at the bank for looking up a celebrity, and it was totally wrong on my part. Totally wrong.
Looking up their account number?
Just I searched their name in the account system, and
Scrappy, what is wrong with you?
I was like,
wrapping things up there in the spring training world. 10-2 Padres, bottom of the 9th inning. Big blow today. Jace Bowen hit a grand slam. Second of the spring, second home run. 6 RBIs now in the spring. Pablo Reyes drove in 3. Walker Buehler, 3 2/3. 5 hits, 2 runs, struck out 2. Bradley Rodriguez, once again, a spotless inning of relief with 2 punchies. I like that term, punchy. It's never a term when I was actually from time and again getting guys to punchy, there was not that term.
What was your K per 9 ratio?
0.3. Everybody could hit the ball.
I set you up for that.
Yeah, it's fine. Everybody could hit the ball off me. The question was, could you, get it land in a place safely?
So you're a contact guy.
Contact guy, no walks.
All right.
So if you wanted to score, 3 hits. That's what required you to score. And my third baseman hated me because right-handed hitters used to hit really hard ground balls down there. Third baseman had to find a way to knock him down.
Chris is on the mound today. I need to get my pads.
Get your pads and your mask. Absolutely right. All right. Here we go. We got Chris versus the fans here. Quick update on what's going on. If you just tuned in, just hopped in the car, you're on your way home, etc. Joe Musgrove, I'm going to say shut down. I don't think the Padres used that word, but it's at least a few days to wait and see. Joe's got a little soreness in his arm after a bullpen session, and Padres say they expected it, not to worry. Guess who's worried?
You.
Me. Yeah, I am. And, until he gets back on the mound and has no soreness, I'm going to be worried. That is the biggest news, I think, out of Padre land today. I just told you the Padres are winning their spring training game. NFL news, the Jets making sure that they will still be terrible next year, have traded for Geno Smith from the Raiders. The other one, I think, the other one's a good news. Romeo Dobbs. Romeo Dobbs going to the Patriots in free agency today.
That's not bad.
Good Packer wide receiver. I was looking at one quick thing, and we may get into this a little later. According to Seth Walder, NFL grading free agents moves, Adam Klug will be happy to hear this. The Falcons signing quarterback Tua Tagovailoa earned a grade of B+ for the Falcons.
Okay.
That was what we argued about yesterday, where I called it an F.
Sure. I'm not really sure how a B+, but we'll
seems a little high to me, but okay.
Keep in mind, we do have Mark Zeigler at 420.
All right, let's get into Chris versus the fans.
If you had one shot, one opportunity to take down the human almanac himself,
howdy do.
Now is your time.
Listen to me, this guy is dangerous.
Now is your opportunity to win a prize.
Well, I hope you know what you're in for.
Chris versus the fans starts now on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, we have our monthly qualifications back today. So if you qualify for the chance or if you beat Chris, you will qualify for a chance to win a grand prize. 2-night stay at Fontainebleau, Las Vegas, and a $150 resort credit. March is here, and Fontainebleau, Las Vegas is the place to catch every game. High-energy watch parties with expansive screens, great food and drinks, exclusive room rates, plus the pools and day club are open. Book your stay today at FontainebleauLasVegas.com now. Is March Madness starting next Thursday? I think it is. They have the conference tournament.
Yeah, Selection Sunday is this Sunday. Next Tuesday, Wednesday will be the
play-ins.
Playing to Thursday.
Man, we're gonna have some crazy shows, Chris. We're gonna be out in
We're
Peoria.
always in Peoria during March Madness.
That is true. That is true.
So that's coming up next week.
The rules.
Let's play ball.
Yeah, you have to make it through 3 questions. Each question will get more difficult. If you get the question right, you move on. If you get it wrong and Chris gets it right, you're eliminated. But if Chris gets it wrong, then you move on to the next question or you win. If you're a first-time player, let us know before you get into it, and you'll get that question for free today. All right, let's go to our first contestant. We will go with Tyler. Hello, Tyler.
Hey, guys.
Hi, Tyler.
Hey.
I got Vaughn in the car with me. He's excited to play, too.
Oh, who's with you?
Who's with you?
Vaughn.
Vaughn, okay.
We're on our way to baseball practice.
Awesome.
Good job.
Awesome. All right. Well, here we go, Tyler and Vaughn. Question number 1.
What position's Vaughn playing these days? Tyler.
That's not your question.
That's not your question. What position does Vaughn play normally for baseball?
What position? A lot of center field, second base.
Okay. Jackson Merrill. I like it. All right. Yep. Question number 1 is shouldn't have asked. Nick Castellanos has played for the Phillies, the Padres, and 3 other teams. All you have to do is name one.
Any ideas, Vaughn?
Vaughn. Come on, Vaughn.
Let's go, Vaughn.
Pull through. What teams did you
The
say?
Reds.
The Reds. Correct.
Take Vaughn right to the head of the class.
Yeah.
Also played for the Cubs and Tigers.
He did.
Okay.
The
Very
Cubs
good.
very, very short.
Yes.
But he started his career with the Tigers. All right, Tyler and Vaughn. On
Good
to
job,
question
Vaughn.
number 2. Yeah, that's a good one.
Gonna send Vaughn straight to the Fountain Blue and leave Tyler at home.
Which Padres player hit 5 home runs in 4 games last spring training to secure their spot on the roster? Which Padres player hit 5 home runs in 4 games last spring to secure their spot on the roster?
Holy sheets.
There
Holy
we go.
sheets.
And for a second, I was scared, but
I was
you
too.
did it. You
I
did
was
it
a little
right.
scared for
Holy
a second.
sheets.
He was right.
He was
Gavin
right.
Sheets did it.
I mean, if we're talking about Gavin Sheets for a second, he wasn't standing out. And
He
then
was a
all of a
complete
sudden, he hit
afterthought.
5 home runs in 4 games.
Well, you know what spurred him on? I think we did
Oh,
an
the
interview with
interview.
him, and
Okay.
then
boom,
took off.
He was a great guy.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
He still is a great guy, by the way. You just talked about him in the past tense.
Well,
He's
yeah, I know. I
still a
did. I
great
didn't
guy.
mean to. Still
All
a
right.
great guy.
Yeah.
Here we go. Question number 3. All right. Who was the last Padres player to hit 30-plus home runs for the Padres?
last 30 home run hitter
in a season for the Padres.
What? Could be tricky.
We're gonna go Fernando Tatis Jr.
They're
Fernando Tatis Jr.
Gonna get a buzz. Fernando hasn't hit 30 since, the good old days. Before the suspension.
Yes.
Right?
BS before suspension.
Before suspension. Yeah, he hasn't had 30 since then. Manny seems like an obvious choice, but it just seems like it's like too obvious. Like, why did you do that?
Someone said Greg Vaughn. That's a little too far
we're
back.
going way back. If it's Greg Vaughn, we're in deep trouble. Profar didn't make it a couple years ago. I'm thinking out loud. I'm going to be mad. I'll just say Manny.
Manny.
I think you're trying to trick us, though.
There's no trick here whatsoever.
Yeah, it's not Manny.
Wow,
so you win.
Tyler and Vaughn. Very nice.
All right, let me
stay
think.
there.
Was it 2024?
It was 2023.
Oh, 2023.
Someone said Higashioka.
Yeah, I don't think Kyle quite made 30.
You're complete. Like, I understand.
I'm totally blanking
because
out.
it almost feels like this guy was never here.
Oh, Juan Soto?
Yep.
Good question.
Yeah.
Scrape.
Yeah. I think he had 35 that year.
You get heavy points for this. Very good. All right.
Right? He hit 30 plus home runs and we don't even feel like it happened.
All right. I'm looking at the 2023 season because I like to check on you.
Yes, I do. Oh, God.
Manny Machado also hit 30 that year, which means that he would be one of the correct answers. Yes.
Hold on.
Tyler, you win, man. I'm not going to take it away from you, but I just want to let Scraby know.
Let me see.
I always check on you, man.
Let me go confirm
So
this.
both Manny and Soto were the last to hit 30.
Oh, but I'll give it to Soto because he hit more. So
okay.
I win.
All right, Tyler, you win.
That's my thought process.
That's your thought process. Well, you're wrong. So good job.
No.
Get out of here.
The last person to hit 30 home runs was Juan Soto because he hit 35 and Manny hit 30. That's how it goes.
No, that's not how it goes. The question, who's the last guy to hit 30 plus home runs? They both did it the same year.
Juan Soto.
Tyler, stay on the line. We're going to give you the victory.
I know I'm losing,
but I'm
this
just going to
fight,
give.
but
I like to give Scraby some crap. We have a minute here to do this, and I wanted to do it because it just came down a couple of minutes ago, and I'm an old timer, so I'm going to remember this guy. The most famous NFL. Well, I don't want to say the most famous. I'm going to say the most important NFL game ever played. I think you could make the argument that it's the Jets beating the Colts in the Super Bowl III.
You have said
without that game, we don't have interleague play. We don't have the AFC and the NFC coming together. Everything was a result of that win. Joe Namath led the Jets to the upset of the Colts. The only Jets touchdown in that game was scored by running back Matt Snell. And he was an all-pro type back for the New York Jets. He passed away today at the age of 84. So anyway, I remember my old guys like that. Matt Snell was a hell of a good running back for the Jets. He and Emerson Boozer were the backfield behind. You like that name, Emerson Boozer? Matt Snell, Emerson Boozer, that was the backfield behind Joe Namath that day. Snell got the TD and helped the Jets to that victory. So there you go. Oh, by the way, here's an interesting note that I did not know.
What's that?
Just caught this. First ever Miller Lite beer commercial. Remember all those funny sports guys?
Yeah.
1973. Matt Snell was in the very first one.
That's a good place to be.
That's not bad, right? Obviously, Bob Uecker became famous for them, and John Madden became famous for those Miller Lite commercials. But Matt Snell was in the first one. Passed at 84 today. So thoughts with the Matt Snell fans out there, of which I'm one. More Gwynn and Chris coming up. Mark Zeigler will join us ahead of the Aztecs trip to the Mountain West Conference tournament. Play starts Thursday. Can they win it? Mark Zeigler will tell us when Gwynn and Chris continues. So last night the bus was to leave for the airport at 8 p.m. And Tony, you know this. Everybody knows this. You know, if you're hooked up with anything like this, as Pete Carroll used to say, on time means you're late.
Right.
So Amy's the young lady who handles all the travel and puts together the itinerary. So we're just about ready to leave. You know,
TJ,
Crisello, Scraby, together here in the Bill House Studios. We know how. Tony Gwynn Jr. and Jesse Agler just wrapping up the broadcast. Padres over the Halos today, 10-2 in spring training. Hopefully we'll catch Tony, but if we do, it'll be a very short visit. At the end of the proceedings today, our guest who joins us right now sent me a text the other day. Brought to you by SDCCU, not Big Bank Banking. It's better. And it is Mark Zeigler of the San Diego Union Tribune. The text said, WTF. He was referring to the Aztec women's team, which sent me home early, Z-Man, with the loss to Air Force. Don't know if you saw, but Air Force also won the semifinal. So somehow they've caught fire, and they are playing actually for the championship tonight. But we bring you on to talk about Brian Dutcher's club, which gets underway Thursday. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. I'm still reeling a little bit from that loss to the women. I mean,
yeah.
But it's funny. We were the guys today about this tournament, and Brian Dutcher as well, about how crazy it's going to be, and how many teams could win it. They're like, look, 9 teams could win this thing legitimately.
Yeah,
9 teams could win it. And I thought, well, yeah, you just had the number 9 seed get final and play for the championship tonight or tomorrow night.
Yeah,
tonight. In the women's tournament. So, I mean, it's possible. It's real.
Yeah, you never can tell, although I would have never seen it coming, the way the Aztec women played all year. They had very few letdowns, but they ran into a buzzsaw. And, we've seen this in March, not just Air Force. I don't know. Name the team. Was it St. Peter's that one year? Went to the Elite Eight. Who knows how some of these teams make it to where they make it come March, and that's some of the magic of it. Obviously, the Aztecs need some magic starting Thursday against either Fresno State or Colorado State. Mark, do you see it? I guess it's always a possibility, but do we realistically think a team that hasn't been consistent all year can find a way to do it for 3 days?
So, there's 2 ways of looking at this.
Okay.
They are not very consistent, and you need to be consistent. You have to play 3 good games, right?
Right.
And they have not really done that. They've won 3 in a row, but have they played 3 high-level games?
Yeah.
Probably not. However, they are the deepest team. And so it's a little bit different when you're playing those 3 games over the course of 8 days, maybe during the season. When you're playing those 3 games back to back to back, that depth does come to play. And that's one of the reasons San Diego State has, typically made the final. Last year was the first time in a long time they went out in the first round or the quarterfinals. And before that, they, had a long stretch of making the final, not always winning it, but making the final. And I think depth, athleticism, fitness, all that play a part. So I think they're, in that respect, they're the best equipped team for this tournament. In the consistency aspect, they're probably, number 6 or 7 on that list. So we'll see which one wins out.
What do you think about Utah State now that they, fell back a little at the end? New Mexico also. Is it like if Utah State wins this tournament, are we looking at one bid this time? I mean, no matter what we know better, but are they going to let somebody else in?
No.
Okay.
I think it's a one bid league if Utah State wins it. It certainly depends on who they play in the final.
Right.
If New Mexico makes the final and some other teams lose ahead of them, they got a shot at sneaking in, maybe getting the last at-large berth and going to Dayton. But it's a pretty slim shot right now. If New Mexico doesn't make the final and it's somebody else, it's the one bid league if they don't win. And it's unfortunate the league has come to that. I mean, Brian Dutcher said it best. He goes, we're cannibalizing each other, and they really are.
Yeah.
And if you look at the way the league has played out in the last few weeks of the season, the best teams are not the top 3 teams. I mean, Utah State had lost, I think, 3 or 4 before they beat New Mexico in that last game at home on Saturday. San Diego State is second, and they had lost 4 or 5 before they beat UNLV. And in third place is New Mexico. They've lost 3 or 4. So the teams below them are the hot teams. Teams like Boise, Colorado State, and San Diego State likely will play. Grand Canyon, Nevada. Those are the teams that have actually been playing better and actually you may see a lot of lower seeds in the semis and finals in this tournament just because it's that evenly balanced.
I think you pointed out, I think you pointed out too, Mark, in a tweet that the likely quarterfinal matchups happen. In all 4 cases, the lower seeded team has had the season advantage over the higher seeded team.
Yeah,
right?
And won the most recent game.
Yeah, so they could all knock everybody out.
And they also have the advantage of playing a game. You know, it's the same thing you see in the NFL now with buys, and you see a lot in Major League Baseball where the teams with buys really don't have an advantage because they kind of lose their mojo, they lose their momentum and their rhythm, and you get a team that maybe isn't as good, but they win a series or they win a game. In this case, win a game, and they're coming in that second game. And rest doesn't really matter on the back-to-back. Now, when you get to 3 in 3 days and 4 in 4 days, it's a different deal. But in that first game of the quarterfinal, they're going to have the good vibes of having won a game and feeling good about themselves, and they're kind of loosened up and ready to go. And another team, San Diego State, weren't played for almost a week. And as we know earlier in the season, when they had these big gaps in their schedule, they did not play well, Rusty. They played a lot better when they had games coming fast and furious. So that part of it is really, really going to be interesting to me.
We're talking to Mark Zeigler of the San Diego Union Tribune, and he is brought to you by the SDCCU fan hotline. It's not big bank banking, it's better. The Mountain West announced their awards for today. The one Aztec that surprised me, Miles Bird won men's basketball defensive player of the year for the Mountain West. And then you got Reese Dixon Waters on the second team All Mountain West, and you have Miles Bird on third team All Mountain West. So what do you think? Are you surprised by these guys being where they're at, or did you think there was going to be some more guys on this list?
No, and that's exactly how I voted for them all. Media's votes don't count as much as coaches' votes in the weighting system they use, but that's kind of the way I saw it.
Okay.
I'm writing a story about Miles Bird right now, and it's interesting because obviously he was a preseason player of the year. I'm trying to go back and look and see how many preseason players of the year end up winning the award at the end of the year. It's really not as many as you'd think.
Right.
Sometimes they get hurt. Other guys step up. It's only one award, so it's not like, you're making a first team. But, a lot of people look at Miles Bird's season and say it was a really disappointing season. But I think when you step back and look at the stats and you see that he's defensive player of the year, it kind of changes your perspective a little bit. This is a defensive-oriented program. He was the best defensive player. He was voted that way by coaches and media. I looked at his stats. I looked at his analytics. I took a deep dive into shooting percentages and steals, assists, turnovers, free throw percentage, everything, the offensive efficiency, and it's almost identical to last season. His scoring's down about 1.5 points per game. His shooting percentage is up slightly. He played about 3 minutes less per game because they were deeper. But everything is really, really close. I think the disappointment was that he didn't take a step up. I think everyone thought he'd take that next step, and he didn't offensively. But defensively, I think he did. He's top 5 in both steals and blocks, which is unheard of. Usually the guys who are top 5 in blocks are 6'11" and can jump out of the gym, and usually the steals guys are 6'2". And for have a guy 6'5", 6'6" do that really speaks to what he has been able to do on defense.
He is a bit of a freak of nature, right, Mark? I mean, physically,
Yeah.
He really has a gift for how his, body is and what he can do with it. So
yeah, and he has a great. He thinks, and it was interesting to listen to him talk about it. He thinks his greatest asset is understanding the game and anticipating things. And he's known as Casino. That's his nickname among the coaches because he gambles so much. And anybody who's coached basketball will tell you, you don't want defensive players to gamble. You always, when I was coaching, it was just over and over in practice. Stop gambling. Just play straight up defense. But he's matured. He doesn't gamble as much as he used to, and he's rewarded much more. But he has that anticipation. He understands the game. He can see when the lazy pass is coming across the top, and he has what you just said, that freak of nature length that just his arm just keeps extending. He can knock the ball away, and then he can go down the other end and miss the dunk. But that's another
I was just going to say, if he does that, could you just remind him 2 hands, please? Mark Zeigler's with us. All right, well, real quick, Mark, before you go, because we've asked you this in so many different ways, but I know you're getting this question because they're 20-10, and this has been an awful season, even though they finished in second place, and everything's gone wrong. So when people say to you, Mark, what went wrong this year? How can you best answer it? And, if you can, in just 2 or 3 sentences without, because it's so hard, I guess, to describe to people. And in a lot of ways, I don't know that it was that horrible of a year. It's just because it's compared to the rest of the seasons the Dutchers had.
Yeah, it's kind of like Miles Bird. I mean, everyone thinks he had a bad year, and he wasn't really that bad.
Yeah.
I think the big thing that people are going to have to come to grips with is this: they're going to have to reset expectations of a mid-major program. I think because they went to the championship game 3 years ago, then they went to the Sweet 16. People kind of thought, well, it's the Sweet 16 program, and it's great to aspire to that. And that's certainly the level the program was. But things have changed so much in college athletics. The money has changed everything. They don't have as much as everybody else.
Yeah.
They don't have the roster. And I think you've seen it. It's not just them. It's mid-majors everywhere. It's Memphis. There's going to be right now 2 at-large berths for mid-majors. It's going to be an all-time low. And a few years ago, they got 10. And so I just think they're part of this group just below the power conferences, don't have as much money. And I think people need to recalibrate their expectations. And maybe this is the kind of season that in future years will be considered, yeah, that's pretty good. It's not bad.
God, 20 out of 21 years, they've won 20 games. How much have we given for that 21 years ago?
Exactly. So, I mean, you have to just, I understand. I mean, a lot of other things went wrong too with maybe Miles Bird didn't score as much as people thought. Magoo and Guath was never healthy. The 11-man rotation, caused issues, and maybe they couldn't maximize their potential because of that. They had a couple of really close losses, a couple iffy calls at the end of games that maybe games would have gone the other way. And so I think you add all those things up, and maybe you win 3 or 4 more games if some of those things go the other way, and then people looking at this is a really good season. But that's just, the margins are so narrow for these mid-majors now that if a couple things go wrong or a guy gets hurt, you're in trouble.
Yeah, and our worst loss of all time was to Troy. Oh, by the way, they just won their conference. So,
yes, they're going to the tournament.
Yeah, let's keep that in mind before we, just go too crazy on this. I got another minute with you, Mark. So I just want to ask you about, where do the Aztec, I knew you've written about, hopefully this guy will be back, hopefully that guy, and Harrington is a big question, big hopeful return, Tace Simmons, hopefully, and, you start building around some of these guys for the future. But does anything change going to the Pac-12, or is it business as usual for Brian Dutcher this offseason?
Well, it's business as usual is completely out the window for all these programs. He's going to have to go get, I think, maybe 7 or 8 players.
Wow.
I mean, at least 6 really good players. Depends on what he wants to carry on his roster. But the Pac-12, here's the thing. It's going to have Gonzaga in it. It's a different beast when you're in a conference with Gonzaga. Go ask USD or any of the other teams in the WCC what's that like. And they all say, thank goodness they're gone. Because they're so good. They have so much more money than everybody else. And they're going to continue to have more money because the Pac-12 gave them a full share. And
they have no football team. They don't have to spend any money on football
to spend it on.
Yeah, right.
Right. So they're going to dominate. You're not winning your conference anymore. You're not winning your conference tournament. And it's very frustrating. And so it'll be interesting to see how teams like San Diego State and Boise State and Utah State that's had success in the Mountain West and kind of traded off with titles navigate that, and how the fans navigate that. It's, you get to see Gonzaga every year, and maybe you beat them every now and then, but over the long haul, they're going to beat everybody else. And so that's the big thing. And then if you look at the Pac-12 as it's going to be configured next year, I think the average net is 103. And if you look at the Mountain West currently, the average net is 113, I think. They're pretty similar.
Pretty close.
And but the Pac-12 includes Gonzaga at 5 and Utah State at 25. Utah State probably going to have a new coach next year. Maybe they don't hit a home run and they go down to 50. Gonzaga is going to lose everybody, and who knows how long Mark Few lasts. He's the hottest rumor to retire in the next year or two. What happens to that program? Do they come down to 25? It's probably about the same. So I don't think it's going to be as good a league as everybody thought it was going to be, because Oregon State, Washington State, Texas State, and Fresno State are all not good in basketball. And so but you're going to get a little bit more money and maybe a little bit more exposure.
Yeah.
And you get to see Gonzaga in your home arena every year.
Yeah, but I don't get to see Wayne Tinkle because he's leaving Oregon State. I was upset by that. All right, Mark, thanks so much for everything. Have fun in Vegas. I wish I was still there, but you'll have to go it alone this year, and we'll talk to you soon.
Hey, let me give a shout out to USD for hiring J.L. Blount. I think
Greg was supposed to ask you about that, and we're out of time.
But go ahead and say something.
Yeah, he gave it a big thumbs up. I know that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, I think it's a really interesting hire. He doesn't have a West Coast tie, so that's the interesting thing. But I'm not sure in this era of basketball that really matters. But from what I've talked to people about him, he's a really, really hard worker. He's a defensive-oriented coach. He's a culture guy, really straight-laced, and I think he'll change things. He's really kind of the opposite of what Lavin was and the way Lavin approached things. And so we'll see what kind of roster he can get, what kind of NIL they can get. But they've got some resources, I think, and I think you'll see an improved product out there, a different product definitely. But it's a really inspired hire. I think Kim Massey did a good job.
All right, you got Mark Zeigler's seal of approval. That's easy
good enough
to get.
for me.
Yeah, that's right. Not easy to get. Hey, Mark, we'll see you soon. Thanks again.
Yep.
Okay, there he is, Mark Zeigler. We got a big 5, which if we don't get to the break soon, it'll be a big 2 or 3. And we know how Scraby loves that.
I get cranky.
Yes, you do. Stick around.
Are your investors?
These things. It even tells you, hey, there's a canyon over here. Don't hit it here.
Scraby from about 45 feet. His caddy tells him to play it a little to the right. He's been playing well so far today. 4th hole. Nice smooth delivery. Hit it too hard.
Sasquatch.
So Chris says that he can't play golf, but this is the second birdie putt he's made for us. This time it was like 20 feet.
Thank you very much, Greg. But once again, you're hitting some very nice shots as well. I'm not usually complimentary to you, but can't help but be complimentary. Your shot making.
With my what?
Your shot making. You hit some.
These things. It even tells you, hey, there's a canyon over here. Don't hit it here.
Scraby from about 45 feet. His caddy tells him to play it a little to the right. He's been playing well so far today. 4th hole. Nice smooth delivery. Hit it too hard.
Sasquatch.
So Chris says that he can't play golf, but this is the second birdie putt he's made for us. This time it was like 20 feet.
Thank you very much, Greg. But once again, you're hitting some very nice shots as well. I'm not usually complimentary to you, but can't help but be complimentary. Your shot making.
With my what?
Your shot making. You hit some.
these things. It even tells you, hey, there's a canyon over here. Don't hit it here.
Scraby from about 45 feet. His caddy tells him to play it a little to the right. He's been playing well so far today. Fourth hole. Nice smooth delivery. Hit it too hard.
Sasquatch.
So Chris says that he can't play golf, but this is the second birdie putt he's made for us. This time it was like 20 feet.
Thank you very much, Greg. But once again, you're hitting some very nice shots as well. I'm not usually complimentary to you, but Aztecs start Mountain West Conference Tournament Thursday, 6 p.m. And they'll play either Colorado State or Fresno State. Those two teams play tomorrow. The winner gets the Aztecs on Thursday. One score update. Couldn't miss this one, Scraby. SMU beat Syracuse 86-69 in the ACC tournament. Why do I care? Because SMU was led by none other than Boopie Miller.
Boopie?
Boopie. I'm assuming Boopie or Boopie.
That is hilarious.
I'm assuming Boopie.
That is, I mean, we had Molly Jolly last week, who is now working with the Angels.
Boopie Miller. I mean, the names are just, where's it going to end?
That is pretty crazy.
Yeah. Boopie had a big game.
Yes.
Right. Good job, Boopie. It sounds like a name in Seinfeld or something.
It really does.
All right, let's go to traffic in today's Big Five.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center. Injured? Demand justice. Demand Jurowitz. 855GetRoss.com. Here's Kelly Danick.
This game day traffic report is brought to you by Crystal Geyser Alpine Spring Water. Plenty of stuff going on this afternoon, guys. Crash the downtown area southbound at 5 right before Civic Center. Those vehicles are over to the left shoulder. Also traveling on northbound 163 Claremont Mesa Boulevard. Crash over to the right shoulder. Got a big rig that dumped its load in the two right lanes on East 52 before Mast Boulevard, causing a huge backup. And now westbound side of the 52, just past the 15. Accident involving a couple cars. They're in the center divide. North 5 Coastline before Oceanside Boulevard. Accident involving a car and a semi. That's over to the right shoulder. What makes Crystal Geyser Alpine Spring Water different? They always bottle their Alpine Spring Water less than 1.5 miles from the spring source. And all of their bottles are made with 50% recycled plastic from their own recycling plants. Crystal Geyser, bottled at the spring source. I'm Kelly Danick with Gwynn and Chris, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
It's that time of the show when we check on the latest in sports. Only the most important topics and questions are brought to light.
Stop what you're doing and listen.
These news stories will astound and amaze you. The one, the only.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
The Big Five starts now on 97.3 The Fan.
And we're broadcasting live from the Bill House Studios. We know how. I'm going to get right into it. And
number 5.
This first question is just going to be for Chris. We've had lots of questions about the Aztecs women's basketball team. And so the general question I think people are asking are, what are the chances of a similar season next season? What's their setup like? How are they going to lose a lot of players?
It's fluid, right? Like all of college basketball now. Unfortunately, I would say this: if they had everybody coming back who's not graduating, you could almost guarantee that they'd be one of the top teams in the conference again. Nala Williams was named the Player of the Year. She's a senior. She's moving on, obviously graduating. But they have really a bunch of other good players, including, Naomi Panganiban and Bailey Barnhart from San Diego. If those two kids who are sophomores stay and, they keep the bulk of the team, I think Stacy's going to be good for a while. Obviously, the Pac-12 is a bit of an unknown.
Yeah.
But judging on what I've seen, Gonzaga has a good women's team. They won it this year in their conference. But other than that, Colorado State, Boise State, same teams that the Aztecs have been competing with now. They don't have to beat UNLV anymore because they're staying behind. Stacey Terry Hudson's now won 20 games 4 straight years, and she's won 25 each of the last 2 years.
Wow.
So that tells me that the program is
healthy.
It's pretty healthy. And I would think whatever they lose, they can also replace, right?
Yep.
Things go that way with the transfer portal. So I think they'll be good. Yes.
Brandon says, well, one thing, Air Force can't beat them next year. So
yeah, that's going to stick.
It's going to be their last game in Mountain West.
It's going to stick in a craw for a long time. I mean, it's all can I say? You know, I'm sure the kids feel it more than I do. But yeah, it was tough.
Number 4.
The Indianapolis Colts have reportedly come to terms on a 4-year, $116 million deal with wide receiver Alec Pierce. The contract reportedly contains $84 million in guarantees, with $60 million fully guaranteed at signing. Coming off a breakout season in 2025, I guess I can't really call it a breakout. I wrote that earlier. Coming off of his best season in 2025.
Okay, fair enough.
Pierce was considered among the top available free agent wide receivers in this year's class. Chris, he is now the 11th highest paid wide receiver in the NFL.
Yeah.
Is this a bad contract?
Yeah, I think so. It's his turn to get paid, so he gets to be number 11. But I don't know. Ask yourself out there. Simple. I give you a list of all the wide receivers in the NFL, and you're putting together just even a fantasy team. Alec Pierce isn't going in your top 30, is he?
No.
Now, Michael Pittman just got traded to the Steelers.
Yes, he did.
So maybe Pierce moves to the number 1 guy on the Colts, which changes his.
I think it is that.
Changes his ability. Yeah, it changes him a little bit. He had 1,000 yards last year, but 1,000 yards is only 66 yards per game. It's not as big as it sounds like.
Yeah.
He
only had 47 catches.
Yeah, but he's a deep threat, Scrabe. I will say that. He goes down the field. He catches long balls. But I don't put him in my top 30.
No.
It's the price of doing business now, though. Obviously, the Colts didn't want to lose him.
Yeah, I don't.
But this seems like they're paying a lot more than they.
There are certain signings in sports where I'm like, what are they seeing that I am not seeing?
I'm with
and
you.
This is one of those.
I agree with that.
He's probably he's probably worth half that.
But then again, Jalen Waddle is making how much with the Dolphins?
A lot.
Yeah, and he doesn't have those numbers last year. Even close.
He's in the realm of But
everybody thinks Jalen Waddle's the greatest thing in the world. But if you look at his numbers, he's very mediocre. So there's 2 ways, right? There's guys that everyone says is good that really don't do much, and then there's guys that people don't notice, like this guy who actually does some things. So we'll see. I think it's a little much. Though.
Yeah, he might not be a complete and total bust for the contract, but I think it's a lot. It's a lot, and guarantees a lot, and
yeah, I mean, most people. Again, football's easier to equate to fantasy because the numbers they put up matter. And Alec Pierce is not a name that rolls off the tongue to too many people. And now he's making 11th best money in all of football for that position.
All right. Let's go to the next.
Number 3.
The WAC. Is that the Western Athletic Conference? I'm just making it up.
The Wacky Whack, yeah.
Issued an ultimatum to Utah Valley University today, casting the school's spot in the WAC tournament field into jeopardy. In a statement from the conference's board of directors, the WAC demanded that Utah Valley place $1 million in escrow by 7 p.m. Eastern. Oh, it's passed. Or lose its place. It was 4 p.m. Yeah, by today.
They're out of time.
Yeah, 4 p.m. Or lose its place in the league's postseason bracket. The issue is that they have not paid their exit fee as they prepare to depart for the Big West in July. The WAC statement characterized the payment as necessary for compliance. Blah, 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 blah. Chris, should they have to pay? And they're the number 1 seed, by the way, Utah Valley. Should Utah Valley pay to get in the tournament? Or should they be required to pay to get in the tournament?
If I don't have all the facts, because I'm assuming that Utah Valley has been told they need to pay this money for a while.
Yep.
I'm assuming it didn't just come to their attention today.
Yep.
That they owe $1 million. So I have a feeling that they have some sort of reason somewhere as to why they haven't. And maybe they're trying to fight it in the courts. However, my ruling as a judge, if I were in this case, if you're leaving the school and there is indeed a $1 million buyout,
Yeah.
then you should pay if you want to play in your tournament.
Really?
I think. But again, I don't have enough facts to really be as strong on this as I'd like. I will say this, though. If you're Utah Valley, you better just pay the $1 million and play the tournament and then try to get the money back if you disagree.
True.
Otherwise,
what
are you doing to your kids, man? All these kids who played a whole season for a chance to go to the NCAA and they're in first place and, you're not even getting into the tournament because they're going to sue everybody later.
Yeah.
That'll all play out. But for now, the Utah Valley team not going to be in the tournament. That doesn't work out too well.
You swayed me a little bit, but from what I've been reading, it seems pretty straightforward. This was the agreement that they had. And for whatever reason, Utah Valley isn't paying the $1 million. But you kind of swayed me. I think they should have to pay the $1 million. If this was something that they know they have to pay all season long.
Right. It couldn't have just happened yesterday.
No, it didn't. No, they didn't just send a bill in the mail.
Right.
And
And
say,
it
give
just
me
got
the
lost
million
in the
bucks.
mail and it showed up on my desk. I just would like to see Utah Valley take care of its kids and let them play in their tournament.
I agree.
And if you don't believe in the $1 million, then sue to get it back.
Yeah.
Later.
Yeah. Let them play. Try to get your spot in the NCAA tournament.
The kids deserve it. I'm always thinking of the kids.
Do it for the kids.
Do it for the kids.
Number 2.
Now, we didn't get to this yesterday, but I'm excited we're getting into it today. UConn men's basketball head coach Dan Hurley was ejected during the final second of the Huskies' 68-62 loss to Marquette last Saturday. The ejection was a result of 2 technical fouls he received for aggressively confronting a referee over a controversial no call. Here is what Dan Hurley had to say after the game.
Didn't think I bumped the ref. I thought I got close to yelling at John. I mean, if John thinks I bumped him, then he'll say I bumped him, but I don't think that I bumped the official. I think I yelled, into the back of his head, foul. And then, you're listen, the officiating for us, it is what it is. In this league, I'm not going to comment, on that.
All right, Dan, we're sorry that you had a couple of calls go against you this year. I mean, Brian Dutcher did too. I don't remember him losing his mind like this guy does. Go ahead with your question, though.
Why does he always talk like this in post-game press conferences?
Because he's been yelling for the last 2 hours during the game at the refs.
So, Chris,
yes,
is he right or wrong?
I'm tired of him. I don't know whether he's right or wrong.
You've been tired of him for a while.
Yeah, I'm tired of him. I get that he's passionate. I like that. You can be passionate and be Jim Valvano running around the court after you win the national championship. You can be passionate in a lot of ways. But Dan Hurley is a bully, the way I see it.
He kind of
and
is,
we've
yes.
talked about the things that he has yelled to officials.
Yeah.
As in, I'm a national championship coach. Who the hell are you?
Yeah, who the bleep are you?
That kind of stuff. So I think he's a bully, and I think he's emboldened by the fact that he's won a couple national titles. And I'm just tired of his act. And every single time, if you watch the video of this, I don't know if he touched the ref or not.
I think he does. Barely, but he does.
Okay. Whether he touches him or not, the fact of the matter is he comes off the bench in an incredibly aggressive manner.
He does.
And almost looks like he's going to run the ref over.
Yeah, he comes out
He's
pretty
so
fast.
angry.
Yeah.
And this is his act every single time. And then afterwards, he sits there and quietly says, well, I don't really know what happened. And then, I'm really sick of the guy. And it goes all the way back to the beginning of last season when he started bullying. Remember, they lost the first 3 games of the tournament somewhere in Las Vegas. It was the beginning of last year, not this year.
I can't remember.
Because they were defending national champs and they lost their first 3 games, and he flipped out in every one of them. Get yourself under control. The example he sets is just pathetic.
Who's higher in your rankings of coaches in this regard, Mick Cronin or Dan Hurley?
Oh, Mick Cronin isn't even close, I don't think, to Dan Hurley.
All
Mick
right.
Cronin, after a game, needs to work on his composure. But during a game, Dan Hurley is a one in the. He's just alone out there, and it just doesn't need to be. And if he wants to talk about the officiating, it's not great. Welcome to the club. It's
Yes.
all over college basketball. It's not just you, Dan Hurley.
He's wrong.
Number 1.
American runner Nathan Martin won the LA Marathon on Sunday by the closest margin in history after overtaking Kenya's Michael Kimani Kamau by 0.01. Sorry,
Are you sure about that?
I'm trying to read through this really fast. By 0.01 seconds.
0.01 seconds?
Have you seen this finish? He comes sprinting from 1.5 miles back to catch the Kenyan, and he barely crosses the
Awesome.
finish line. They did it in 2 hours, 11 minutes, and 17 seconds, which is ridiculous.
I think the record's 2:05. But you know what? Look at this on the if you're on the chat. Jerry Seinfeld does a whole thing about the Olympics where if you're in one of those fast races, this is the gold medal. This is last place.
Okay, we got to get
see
going.
me, but that's kind of what they did in the marathon.
Joe Musgrove update next.
Honest opinions.
Gwynn and Chris are ready to go.
Yeah, I think he's day-to-day right now. Kind of, we knew this is how it's going to be with him coming back from injury. It wasn't just going to be a straight shot, all the way through. And so giving him the ample amount of rest to get him kind of a little bit of a deep breath, a breather, and then we'll get him back out there.
Any idea when that'll be, just based on how he feels?
We'll see. We'll evaluate him every single day and then make a decision after that.
With Joe, is it like general soreness? Is it kind of work, just typical stuff, working your way back from this kind of thing?
Yeah, it's typical stuff. Like sometimes you just come out of a game or come out of a bullpen and it's just a little cranky. And you're like, I need, a couple extra days and just a little bit of a breather, recalibrate, start all over again and get back to it. But
yeah, that's all it is, says manager Craig Stammen. By the way, I think that's the first time I've said those three words together.
Manager Craig Stammen?
Yes, it might take a moment for me to get totally used to that. Craig Stammen says Joe Musgrove going to sit it out for a few days. They expected this, and it's pretty normal.
Says all the words I want to hear.
Right. So, as I said earlier, I am actually a lot worried about this because a lot of these things, at least in the past, with Padre players, Jackson Merrill's the most recent example. Last year, he went on got hurt, tweaked his hamstring. I remember the play. He was in a game against the Dodgers. I think it was on a swing. And I think he came out of the game and they said, well, he's going to sit out a game. He's going to sit out a couple of games. And we'll probably be smart enough to put him on the 7-day, because he needs a little time. A month for a 2-day injury.
Yeah.
So, I worry about Joe Musgrove right now, but we will believe the, reports from the Padres, and hopefully they're right, and that in a few days of rest, Joe Musgrove is fine. We welcome you back to the show, 502, Chris Ello and Tony Gwynn Jr. idle today. Well, not intentionally, but calling the ball game today in Tempe, where the Padres beat the Halos 10-2. Big blow in the game was the grand slam by Scraby's new favorite guy, Jace
Bowen.
Jace Bowen, yes, Jace Bowen. I remember I was worked so hard to remember the Jace part, forgot the Bowen part.
My cousin's kid's named Bowen, so it's easy.
All right, he hit the grand slam today. Walker Buehler 3 2/3 innings, allowed 5 hits, 2 runs, struck out a couple. Bradley Rodriguez gets on my radar again with another scoreless, spotless inning that included a couple of Ks. So the Padres, by the way, if you're wondering, keeping tabs, I know you are. Padres now 9-9 in spring training.
Clawing back to 500. Good
Clawing
job,
back
guys.
to 500.
Good job, guys.
All right, Scraby's got. This is breaking news. I mean, this to me is the sounder.
Are you
hesitant to go with it?
I've checked the Twitter account. It is a real Twitter account from Adam Schefter.
Okay,
and he posted this huge. Let me get. You know what?
It's in. It's here.
It's in. Okay,
Yeah, so hit this thing. This is huge.
This is crazy. I don't know if I've ever heard this before.
I don't either.
This is breaking news from 97.3 The Fan.
Who wants to say it? I'll get to say it. You want to say it?
Yeah, you get to always say it.
The Baltimore Ravens.
No,
Oh, wait, you
I
want to
said
say it?
I say it.
Sorry.
Jeez, what part of that did you not understand?
I don't know. I was excited.
It's just in. The Baltimore Ravens have backed out of the Max Crosby trade. Trade, period. Trade is off, period. Adam Schefter 3 minutes ago.
What?
I don't know. Does you have anything more there?
No,
that's
is
all I have.
Crazy.
That's all I have. Max Crosby was acquired by the Ravens no more than 48 hours ago. I was in Las Vegas when the trade was made. People in Las Vegas said, well, that's typical of the Raiders. Finally get a good player and sell him off. But apparently the Ravens have backed out. Now,
yeah, the Raiders have tweeted it as well.
I'm keeping a couple of things. I'm guessing a couple of things now because it's so early in the process. And you know what? I'll be honest with you, though. Can I just stop for a second? You and I are watching NFL Network right now.
Yes.
This is NFL Network. This is the network of the league.
I think it's taped content, too.
Well, it has to be.
Because we've already seen this exact.
There's nothing about it on NFL Network right now.
They're probably trying to confirm it too, but the Raiders tweeted it out.
It's too late. I mean, the Raiders have tweeted it out. Adam Schefter.
Here it comes.
There it goes. Okay.
Here it comes.
They were last, though. NFL Network just got it in. We will have no further comment at this time, say the Raiders after the trade. All right. So the NFL Network got it, but
We got
it before the NFL Network got it. So
Can I actually-
Scrappy, good job. You're on top of this.
Well, can I actually give the credit to our former producer, Thomas Andrews? He's always on his game, and he sends me things he thinks that we're going to talk about.
That a boy, TA.
Yeah,
Good job, Odd Thomas. I was a little critical of Odd Thomas from time. Not even from time to time. I'm always critical of Odd Thomas because he doesn't put his lineup in every Sunday.
Apparently, this isn't tape content because they're reacting to it right now.
So they were just NFL Network got caught a little with its pants down.
I think they were trying to confirm because it's so crazy.
Now, look, I mean, if Adam Schefter got it 3 minutes ago, in this day and age, Scraby, 3 minutes is a long time for the NFL Network to not have that.
It
when
is.
you're the network of the league.
You would think that this would be news for the league first.
Well, Adam Schefter got it, and
I can't
that's why
wait
he's
to
the
find
man.
out what happened.
Well, I'm going to guess. Can I guess?
Physical?
Yeah, something physical. It's got to be. What else could it be? Max Crosby showed up, and they asked him to do 20 push-ups, and he only did 19, and the Ravens said, get out.
I
don't know how it works.
It has to be physical something.
It's got to be something they think is physical. Sure.
He's already sent a message to the Ravens fans. He
apologized to the Raider fans for never winning anything.
Now he's back.
He's a Raider again, I guess. Is that how this works?
Yeah, it's I guess so. Unless they've officially backed out. So it doesn't seem like the trade's going to be happening. I'm sure they tried to negotiate another deal to make this happen, but no.
Ravens have backed out of trade agreement for Max Crosby. Raiders say we have no further comment at this time.
Tom Brady, man, what happened, bro?
It's all up to us. Tom Brady is taking a beating with the Raiders, and you know what?
He should.
He kind of is starting to deserve it now. For a guy to show up, what does he come over there? Twice a season? You know what I
think he's there a lot more.
All right, but it's not working with Tom Brady yet. That's for sure.
Well, he's trying to. He needs to either be a broadcaster or be an owner.
I think so too. This broadcasting thing just annoys me that he has that advantage.
It doesn't annoy me. I just think it's you can't spread yourself that thin and be successful at both of them.
Talking about spreading thin, is there any celebrity event anywhere anymore that he's not at?
He's everywhere.
He's on TMZ more than actors and actresses are.
Wait, didn't I get flack for this a couple weeks ago when I said I didn't need Tom Brady a part of the 49ers documentary?
Well, you weren't upset about that.
Yeah, and I got, what's the matter with Tom Brady? Who cares? Let him do it.
That I thought he belonged because it made sense. He was a young 49er fan when all of that happened.
But he is everywhere.
He's at every party. Wasn't he at the wedding of Bezos? And I mean, just wherever there's something, he's there.
He is.
And meanwhile, he's trying to own the team and all. Anyway, Tom, whatever.
Here it is. The Max
more?
Crosby did not pass his physical today per Diana Rossini.
Ha ha!
The Ravens got their first round pick back.
Told you. Didn't pass the physical.
Wow. I know he was hurt last year.
It's the only thing it could have been, Scrabe.
That's crazy.
Diana Rossini getting the next, scoop on it. But actually, Chris Ello outguessed her.
Yeah.
I just took a guess, but I was right.
You know what, Chris? Next time we should just tweet it. Max Crosby didn't go through because of physical.
Right. It's somebody who's going to get mad at us if we're wrong.
Yeah, if we're wrong, whatever. Everybody's always wrong, and no one gets mad at them.
No, they don't.
But it's like I get one Chris First to Fans question wrong, and the world is about to end.
Yeah, we all know who the last 30 home run guy for the Padres was now.
I like how ESPN phrased it like this. Raiders say Ravens backed out of trade.
Oh, yeah. Well, they did. I mean, the Ravens backed out officially because the guy did not pass his physical. So they called the Raiders and said, you can have him back. I mean, the Raiders didn't call the Ravens and say, can we get him back?
Yeah, no.
So this officially was the Ravens who backed out of it.
Yeah, they had to. Once they figured out whatever they figured out.
Didn't pass the physical.
I'll still take him in San Francisco. Or Santa Clara, I should say.
I would think a non-physical passing Max Crosby is better than anyone who's suited up in aqua since Manny Fernandez in the 70s.
Manny Fernandez.
You remember when the Dolphins spent $8 gazillion on Ndamukong Suh, and I was like,
yes.
what are you doing?
Yes.
Just wasted money. Remember that one?
I do remember that one.
And then they couldn't sign another player because they put it all on him. Brilliant organization. Some of the other football news, if you're just tuned in, Jets traded for Geno Smith. That is now going to take a back seat to this latest news. Patriots land.
The Jets are like, oh, well, they backed out. We're going to back out too.
Jets may want to rethink this. Yeah, send Geno Smith back to the Raiders as well. Patriots land. Packers free agent wide receiver Romeo Doubs. Lions add KC running back Isaiah Pacheco to the mix. Those are kind of the name moves that were made. We should get into this. I thought you'd put it in the Big Five. You did not.
What?
So I'll say Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce says he's coming back for a 14th season. Why? Taylor Swift has encouraged him to.
Is that really what he said? I thought you were joking with me the entire time.
The story says Chiefs Travis Kelce says fiance Taylor Swift influenced his return.
Wow.
There you go.
I don't know what that
I'm just
even
going to leave
means.
that where it stands.
Yeah, I have no idea what that even means.
I don't know that that's the best of all news for Chiefs fans.
It's not.
It doesn't sound like it because Travis Kelce is Travis Kelce, only he's not Travis Kelce anymore, right? Even if you're the most diehard Chiefs fan, you had to look at Travis Kelce last year and not recognize what you were seeing.
There were definitely
for the most
some
part.
things that
There
were not
drops.
the same.
He wasn't open. I mean, it was
bad blocking.
Yeah. So now you got to give him a ton of money to keep him. And that's something you could spend, I think elsewhere. I don't know that this helps the Chiefs.
I don't think it does.
So
I think they're definitely the Chiefs now have to hold the spot for him. So maybe they go draft someone.
And it's not like Travis Kelce is going to play for the league minimum. He's going to require some bucks.
He is getting paid $12 million base, $15 million maximum, which is a lot for a tight end.
Okay. The big story in baseball today was the supposed verbal fight between Mariners teammates Randy Arozarena and Cal Raleigh. We'll have the latest on that when we continue here on Gwynn and Chris.
From the 855, get
Now, a little happy hour brought to you by GL Pools. They're the company trusted by thousands of San Diegans to keep their pools sparkling, swim ready, and expertly maintained. Call GL Pools now. And when you call, they'll go, hello? You go, radio. That'll immediately get you a free month of service. GL Pools. Crisello, Matt Scraby together in the Bill Howe studios. We know how. Tony Gwynn Jr. got to be in traffic somewhere between Tempe and Peoria. Padres over the Halos today. 10-2. We got our biggest fan coming up. We'll announce that at the bottom of the hour. But the big baseball news of the day has nothing to do with any games anywhere, not even the World Baseball Classic, although it happened in the game last night between the USA and Mexico. When Mexico's Randy Arozarena reached out to shake the hand of Team USA catcher Cal Raleigh before an at-bat. The two are teammates with the Seattle Mariners. Cal Raleigh basically told Randy Arozarena to go pound sand. He did not shake his hand. He did not even have any interest. Arozarena leaned into Cal Raleigh as if to say, hey, what's going on?
What's up, bro?
Cal Raleigh did nothing. After the game, Randy Arozarena, in a couple of different interviews, said about Raleigh, blank, he could F off. He could go to hell. He could shove it straight up his Okay, so Arozarena was either pissed or has a really funny way of being, joking.
That would be, because it's made major headlines everywhere.
Right.
Their manager had to comment,
etc. So today, Cal Raleigh in Houston talking to Jeff Passan before their game against Italy. Raleigh said there's absolutely no beef. Raleigh said, I love Randy. I hate that this is a thing. There's no beef. When we get back to Seattle, he's my brother. Okay.
Did Randy respond?
Not yet. And until Arozarena says, hey, I take back my remarks, or it was just in the heat of the moment, or yes, I love Cal and, blah, blah, blah. Until I hear from Arozarena doing that, this is still a thing. Because, of course, Cal Raleigh's going to say there's no beef. He didn't have a beef. The beef was from Arozarena. He was the one that didn't like what happened.
I could totally see. I think people are so surprised because I could see it the opposite way. Cal Raleigh being like, hey, man, what's up? And then Randy Arozarena not wanting to say anything.
Well,
and because Cal Raleigh is a nice dude. Like, he's a good dude. So
he's
it's
the big
weird.
dumper. How could the big dumper let us down like this?
No, he didn't let me down. I kind of liked it. This is Team USA baseball.
I get it, but the reaction from Arozarena is
different.
off the charts.
You're right.
Team USA manager Mark DeRosa, trying to soften things, said that Raleigh spoke with Arozarena before the game and said, let's not do anything that puts me in an awkward situation with my teammates. As far as, let's not shake hands.
Interesting.
Okay. But if he did that, then why did Arozarena try to shake his hand? That'd be pretty stupid. If Raleigh said, hey, let's just, let's not shake hands before,
maybe
we're teammates, but in this situation, probably best. He actually talked to him, according to Mark DeRosa. I'm not trying to be Columbo a little bit here. I'm trying to figure this out. But if Raleigh really said that, then why did Arozarena turn around and go, yeah, let's shake hands anyway? So I don't believe that Cal Raleigh told him anything. I believe that Arozarena thought everything was cool. He's saying hi to his big league teammate, and I believe that Cal Raleigh blew him off, and I believe that at least after the game, Arozarena was that mad.
I do believe that.
So the fact that Cal Raleigh today says, it's no big deal, well, of course. He wasn't the one angry.
That's true.
I need to hear from Arozarena before this goes away. That's my own thing.
It's such a strange situation. It's so weird that this is happening. And these guys just came from Mariners camp together.
They probably flew on the same private jet together. Cal Raleigh probably whipped up a cheeseburger for Arozarena on the flight.
He might have.
Right?
And Arozarena took it very personally.
Arozarena is not a happy guy. Either that or he's the worst joke guy ever.
Like, he's taking this joke very seriously.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's a joke anymore.
You're not joking, I don't think, when you go F off followed by kiss my you-know-what.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. He get more than enough chances to take back what he was saying. He didn't take it back.
Can you imagine if this happened with the Padres? This would be the topic of the show.
That's right. I said it earlier. If Fernando was playing against, what was Xander on the Netherlands?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
So if he slid into second in that, I don't know if they played. I don't think the two teams played, but it
doesn't matter for the example.
Right. For the example, if Fernando slides in and takes Xander out, and then after the game, Xander says, "The hell was that?"
Like
Fernando's a complete bleep. And I know Fernando patted me and said, "I'm sorry," but he can take that and shove it straight up his bleep.
Yeah.
We'd have an issue here.
There would be an issue. There would be an issue.
And I'm sure Fernando could say, well, there's nothing to this. I apologize. And, bygones be bygones. But
Xander
maybe
Bogaerts got a
Xander
broken
would still
leg.
be mad. Apparently, in this situation, Rosarena's still mad.
You know what everybody's bringing up, and Rod just brought this up on the chat, but I've seen this highlight all day when Kobe just absolutely trucked Pau Gasol back in the day.
I've seen that as well, yeah.
And Rod also said this is the Kobe attitude, and he's right. This is how Kobe would have handled it.
The attitude is fine. Cal Raleigh blowing him off is fine. The reaction from Pau Gasol was, hey, I get it. That's Kobe. Had Pau Gasol got up and said, what the hell's Kobe doing? He's a complete bleep.
Yeah.
He can shove that, screen straight up his bleep. The Lakers would have had an issue. But Pau Gasol got it. He got that Kobe. In fact, Kobe told his teammates before the game he was going to do that.
Yeah.
And then he trucked him. So it is the same thing, but it's a different reaction.
Totally different reaction. One was, hey, I understand this. The other was, what the heck are you doing?
What are you doing?
Why are you throwing? Why are you?
It wasn't even
hanging?
What are you doing, man? It's bad language.
What the bleep are you doing?
You can shove it straight up your bleep. That's an angry guy.
I have never said that phrase to anyone in my life. You could shove it up your bleep. I've never said it. Have you said it? That's a pretty rare phrase to say.
I'm thinking I probably will never say it.
I don't see myself saying it either.
USA plays Italy tonight. That game starts at 6 p.m.
Oh, Ron Marinaccio and Alec Jacob tonight, maybe. They're relievers for Italy.
Oh, Alec Jacob?
Yep. Marinaccio is pretty.
Yeah, Marinaccio. I'm not asking about Alec.
No, Alec Jacob has Italian
Alec
family.
Jacob Coley or whatever.
Jacopoli.
Yeah, I mean some of these guys are playing for some of these teams. I don't get how Austin Wells was all of a sudden in the DR and
they have to fill the team somehow.
I got to be honest with you, Jaron Duran doesn't sound too Mexican either. Hit a couple homers against us yesterday, so it's a little weird how that all works. But I'll just let it go. Anyway, USA Italy tonight. That's the big baseball game. More Gwynn and Chris coming up. Matt Snyder talking about Joe Musgrove's injury. What does he think of the news from the Padres today? And more Gwynn and Chris ahead.
Ben and Wood.
what we do is we send me home, and we keep Scraby here, and he carries on with the Scraby Chronicles.
I forgot to say one thing before we get into the topics.
Yes,
biggest fan.
Oh, thank you. You know who's going to be particularly happy that you said that?
Homero
Cardenas. Yes, because he is today's biggest fan. Homero Cardenas of National City. Give us a call within the next 10 minutes. 833-288-0973. Homero, you are today's biggest fan, but only if you call within the next 10 minutes. When you do, you'll qualify for the grand prize, 20 tickets for you and your friends for a night in the Odyssey Suite at a Padre game. We'll all be there. Spiro's Mediterranean Cuisine will be there. The rest of you, if you want a chance to be there, register your name at 973thefansd.com/biggest fan. Homero Cardenas, your 10 minutes starts now, 833-288-0973. One of the things that we do as sports fans and media is we don't do it intentionally, but it just goes with it. We don't really think about the real life things that are going on with our favorite players. You know what I mean? Like, we don't think about, I wonder if maybe his daughter's not feeling well, or she's sick and had to stay home from school, or, you know what I mean? What if his son just got, in trouble and, got put in detention for 2 weeks, or didn't make the freshman basketball team, that kind of thing. I bring this up because Lakers star Luka Doncic
I saw this.
has apparently separated from his fiance back in, where is it? Slovakia. No, Slovenia. Thank you. Slovenia. So they've apparently separated. He's 27. She's 27. He proposed in July of 2023. They'd known each other. They started dating officially in 2016. The whole proposition, they were fiance. They have 2 children. Doncic went back to Slovenia in December. He missed a couple of games for the birth of his second daughter. And apparently Doncic wanted to bring his other daughter to the States with him when he returned. And there was some, I don't know what happened, but they fight, etc., disagreement. The fiance ended up calling the police, etc., and on and went. Doncic left the hospital peacefully, flew back to the States, and now wants to see his daughters. He's here. His daughters are there.
Yeah.
His marriage has apparently broken up completely, or not the marriage, but the
relationship.
The relationship. According to people who follow this stuff, his fiance has deleted all the photos, from Doncic on her Instagram, the whole thing. So, what's going to happen? I don't know. They're going to, Doncic will probably have to file something when the Slovenian courts, and we'll see how this all goes. And meanwhile, tonight, Doncic will slip on his uniform and play a basketball game.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't, go out there and kick ass and score 38 points and lead the Lakers to a win, he's going to get booed off the floor. And that's just how it goes.
It is.
And we don't think of this stuff, nor should we be expected to. But I think it's worth bringing up now and again. This is a real person who's going through real problems. And if you were in this situation where your 2 daughters, they don't have to be in Slovenia, they could just be in Ohio, and you can't get to them, or you can't see them, and your fiance and you are having that thing. Just imagine, trying to go out and play a game and just keep your mind on I think you maybe use it as an escape a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I think a lot of those guys do.
This is a real life thing here. And so I root for who I root for more than anything? The daughters. Yeah. They didn't ask for this.
And it's like it's 2 different countries.
Yeah.
It's very difficult.
Yeah.
To
Luka Doncic said, quote, "I love my daughters more than anything. I've been doing everything I can for them to be with me in the U.S. That hasn't been possible. Recently made the tough decision to end my engagement. Everything I do is for my daughter's happiness, and I will fight to be with them and give them the best life I can." But that's kind of beyond his power right now. He doesn't have the daughters.
Yeah. That is tough.
Yeah. Just something to keep in mind. And the next time you're at the ball game and you've drank a few and your favorite player strikes out and you're about ready to get up and
what if he
tell him what you really think of him.
And what if he answered, my daughters are in Slovenia?
Yeah, right. Maybe, just keep it in mind the next time you lose your mind out there as a fan. Okay?
It's definitely something that, in a smaller scale, us on the radio, sometimes we have news that changes our day. And we're not, we have to just kind of continue on. It's a very small,
much
comparison.
different, but similar. Yeah, my wife has called me before with not great news at 2 minutes to 4, and then I come on and go, "Hey, it's time to play Chris versus the Fan."
It's true,
but at the same time, I'm like, that's not great.
I mean,
yes, that's
true.
happened before for sure.
True.
All right, let's check some traffic and then finish things up with our CBS sports guy on baseball, Matt Snyder.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center. Injured? Demand justice. Demand Jurowitz. 855GetRoss.com. Here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by San Diego Law Firm, fighting for your sexual harassment rights at SDLF.com. Well, guys, pick a freeway. You're going to find problems on just about all of them this afternoon. What is going on? I know it's not raining. In the downtown area, southbound side of the 5 before Civic Center, there is a collision involving a couple vehicles. Looks like they are over to the left shoulder. And southbound side of the 805 before Home Avenue, collision in the center divide. Another crash reported south 805 on the Telegraph Canyon Road off-ramp. Also, northbound 805 just past Bonita, accident involving a couple vehicles. One's over to the right shoulder, one in the center divide. South 163 cleared an accident right before Kearneyville Road, no longer blocking lanes. They shoved it all over to the left shoulder. Stalled van has just been cleared out of middle lanes, eastbound 8 near the 15, and eastbound 52 recovering from an earlier spill before Mass Boulevard. Still seeing some residual there. You spoke up and suddenly your schedule changed, your hours got cut, or the pressure got worse. That's not okay. San Diego Law Firm will help you fight against sexual harassment. Contact them at SDLF.com. That's SDLF.com. I'm Kelly Danick with Gwynn and Chris, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Matt, thank you for coming on, as always. And that's the last time I'll ever let Scraby talk over your appearance on the show. But
no, it's fine no matter what. I will say, once it became 5-3, I'm sitting there already screaming at the TV. First of all, why is Boyd still in? Second of all, why aren't we going to Bednar and then Miller?
Yeah.
Okay. And neither one even pitched. But you've got the game against Italy. And this is still spring training for these guys. And, Mark DeRosa had to talk to every single pitcher's team and had to give assurances, I'm not going to run these guys. So he's got, to me, a much harder job than the managers in the regular season do in terms of who you're going to use out of the bullpen. Because you're not just saying, how do I get through this game? You're juggling all that stuff.
Yeah, because he thinks Mason Miller's, want to make sure he has him tonight. Then he gets a day off before they eliminate. You're right. He can't pitch Mason Miller last night and then pitch him. And he can't pitch him 2 nights in a row. The Padres wouldn't like that.
Yeah, and then you have to figure out how am I going to use all of these bullpen guys for the quarterfinals, semifinals, and finals if all 3 games are close. Fair
enough. I'm going to give Mark DeRosa a pass on that. That's cool. Talk about the Red Sox. I mean, should they be excited? I mean, we saw the one game with Duran and Anthony, but it seems like all the Red Sox are making a mark in this World Baseball Classic, and people didn't think they had any talent. Maybe they got a lot of talent. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's still small samples and all that stuff. And I mean, just as an example, Dante Nori has 2 home runs for Italy. I don't know if anybody's going crazy about him for the regular season. But that's in 2 games, 2 home runs in 2 games.
So it looks good.
I still think it's an incredibly fun event. I'm as into it as anybody right now, but I'm not going to go crazy about any of the stats or any of the stuff when you're talking about a bunch of individual 1-game samples and the pitching rules that we already talked about and all the different stuff with the pitching. It's not the same as the regular season, but even if it is, if you see Jarren Duran go crazy in 1 game in the regular season out of 162, we shouldn't move our needle that much on a guy based on 1 game. But hey, we've seen how good he could be. I mean, he had a huge breakout season in 2024, took a step back last year. Maybe he gets back to 2024 form. And I think the Red Sox are going to be looking for some of that. They're going to look at, hey, we need Duran to bounce back. We need Trevor Story to stay healthy for a full season. Again, we need Roman Anthony to break out. They're asking for a lot of question marks to be answered in the positive offensively. The pitching staff looks great, but offensively, there are questions.
I think Jared Duran was on the Padre radar, or at least was rumored to be, in the trade
Yeah, I remember
discussions
that.
last
That's
year.
right,
So,
yeah.
one last thing on the WBC, and then I'm going to let Scraby ask you about Cal Raleigh and Randy Arozarena. But Manny Machado makes those plays the other night, the two back-to-back. I think everybody's seen them by now. And there's no other third baseman that I know of that can make those plays like he does, as smooth as he does. And, I'm going to say what I always say. The man still doesn't have a Gold Glove as a third baseman. He's not even a finalist last year at third base. And I know it's only the Gold Glove, but I don't get it. Why don't people see what I see? I know he makes some errors on routine plays.
Yeah.
He's still the best third baseman I think I've ever seen.
Was there Arenado a finalist in front of him?
Not last year. No, Arenado was not even in there last year. I think
Okay,
it was
because I was worried about a reputation.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Arenado was there.
I think it was Brian Hayes. McMahon was in there, and then he got traded. I'm trying to think of the third.
Matt
Anyway,
Chapman should
Matt
be.
Chapman's
Chapman
always
and
in there.
Machado are the two that I think of that are the gold standard. And I think Chapman might be one of the main reasons Machado doesn't have one by now. And probably Arenado too. I'm not the best on Gold Glove.
No, you're fine.
Anytime I do the Immaculate Grid and I see Gold Glove on there, I'm like, oh, come on, man. I don't know all the Gold Gloves.
Matt Snyder and me both play Immaculate Grid. I love that.
Yeah.
And I kind of freak out on Gold Glove too.
I definitely think he's one of those. I would never have guessed it if you hadn't brought it up to me before, but I know you have in the past. He's one of those guys that I think once he retires and I go to round up his accolades for his Hall of Fame case, which I do expect him to be a Hall of Famer someday. I think it's one of those things where you can be like, holy cow, how did he never win a Gold Glove?
He did win a couple. I want to say he did win a couple with the Orioles when he was shortstop and stuff way back then. Yeah, but since here he's never won. So yes, he has a couple in the locker.
I do think third base.
Ago.
We've seen a defensive renaissance at third base the last 10 to 15 years or so, and he is a big part of that between him, Arenado, and Matt Chapman at least. But there is the plays that so many guys are making at third base now are the plays that made Brooks Robinson famous.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's 10 to 15 dudes every year who are making those. It's ridiculous. And I'm glad that you're all the way across the country from Baltimore, because I don't need people going crazy on me about Brooks Robinson and the blasphemy that I just committed.
You're fine. You're fine. We don't have many Baltimoreans, I think I'm just going to call them here.
Might be.
We're talking to Matt Snyder, CBS Sports. He is brought to you by SDCCU. It's not big bank banking. It's better. Now, Chris and I just talked about the Cal Raleigh, Randy Arozarena thing, where Randy Arozarena tried to shake his hand. Cal Raleigh didn't want anything to do with it. And then after the game, they asked Randy Arozarena about it. And he said about Cal Raleigh, bleep off, go to hell. And then he said some other things. So Dan Wilson, the manager of the Mariners, was asked about this, and he kind of tap danced around it. Is this real? And are we going to be talking about this in a real sense going forward?
It's a hard one.
It would be so stupid. It'd be so stupid if it was. I think the comment that Raleigh said is, I think people are making that to be a bigger deal than it is. That's true. And I'm sure the dust will settle. I can't believe. So, all right. It's hard to know what exactly was going back and forth between the two. But I mean, maybe Raleigh just said, hey, I love you, man, but we're not going to shake hands right now because we're opponents.
Right.
I was surprised that Raleigh didn't just shake his hand. I was also surprised that it seemed like Arozarena went so crazy publicly after the game about it. You'd have to think that you can get that thing smoothed over. They just went to Game 7 of the ALCS. They have a chance to be the first Mariners team to ever go to the World Series. You can't let something like that derail an entire ball club. And they're both veterans. They've both been through the battles. You've hardly heard of any clubhouse issues with either one of them. I think the only thing that came to mind with Arozarena was, I believe he recorded a locker room thing when he was on the Cardinals and they got rid of it because of that. But that was so long ago. And this doesn't seem like that. I would guess it would blow over, heat of the moment type thing. I was talking to some friends earlier, and I said this is one of those things where I think if you already had a preconceived notion about either guy, then you just go crazy with it. Like I thought about I was like, you know what my dad would do if it was like Cubs and Cardinals and it was like Yadier Molina behind the plate, he'd go crazy about the catcher being in the wrong. But if it was like Wilson Contreras when he was on the Cubs, he'd be like, hey, settle down. Contreras is fine.
Of course.
So it's
how we all do
it.
It's
just whichever guy is your guy, he's fine. The other guy needs to settle down. I mean, my guess is 2 weeks from now, much ado about nothing.
Matt Snyder's with us. All right, here's another thing, Matt, that I hope is much ado about nothing. But the Padres today, just kind of tell us, Joe Musgrove coming off the season-long injury, they didn't say shut it down, but he's not going to do anything for 3 or 4 or 5 days. They say it's kind of normal, a little soreness. We kind of expected it. Yeah. Don't worry too much about it. I get worried
Sounds like
about
you
it.
are worried.
I am worried about it.
Matt, you have no idea. He's very worried.
I
about
am because
this.
every time I hear that a guy's just going to be out for a couple of days, a couple of days becomes a couple of weeks, and a couple of weeks becomes a couple of months. What is going on in baseball with the injuries in the sense that, I don't know, it seemed like guys used to just rub dirt on it and come back and play the next day. Is it because we have so much more information now? Is it because there's so much more money at stake? But it seems like most injuries last a little longer than they're initially said. Would you at least agree to that?
Maybe, but
Okay.
I think part of it is they're so much bigger and stronger. And when you talk about all the Tommy John surgeries, they throw that much harder. And I remember when I interviewed Dr. James Andrews back in the day, and he said, hey, look, Sandy Koufax's career was cut short because his arm fell apart. So it's not like it's a brand new thing when people are having arm injuries. I mean, we saw, examples where careers got cut shorter. Mark Fidrich was probably very overworked early in his career. Fernando Valenzuela, after the first 5 or 6 years, there was nothing left in there. So I think people are trying to avoid that, first of all. Secondly, he's coming off major surgery, and when you look at the Padres rotation right now, it's not the deepest, and you have concerns on King as well on getting a full season. So I think they're probably just your glass half full discussion here would be they're just slow playing this thing, and they're trying to make sure he can get through the entire season without running into an issue where when it matters, now you have to shut him down for 3 or 4 weeks. So I think this is a slow play. I think it's all part of it. I think it's all mapped out.
All right, we're talking to Matt
trust
Snyder
you,
here.
Matt. I
Steven,
trust you.
Thank you, Matt. Because when I say that, he's like, I don't believe it.
I don't believe it.
Whatever you say, I'm going to believe the opposite.
Yeah, I've just looked this up. Jackson Merrill last year was out for a couple of days when he tweaked his hamstring, and officially he missed a month. That's kind of what I'm nervous about.
Yeah,
that's all.
A lot of times on the muscle things, I do think part of it is they're so much bigger and stronger than they used to be. I think another part of it is they don't want to play hurt because they're worried it will get hurt worse.
Yeah.
And if you've ever pulled a hamstring before, I made it until I was like early 40s, and then officiating football, I pulled one. Holy cow, man! Every time you think it gets close and you start to run again, then you feel it again.
True.
So hamstrings can be tricky, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Matt Snyder of CBS Sports was brought to you by the SDCCU fan hotline. It's not big bank banking. It's better.
I'm wrong a lot. I better be wrong on Joe Musgrove. Joe, come back healthy quickly. Scraby Chronicles coming up.
Yep, that's right.
By the way, we finished the show yesterday talking about SGA getting 126 straight games at 20 points. Well, he did do it. He also hit the game-winning 3.
He did.
But what's the guy, Dort on Oklahoma City?
Okay.
Throwing his arm and just crashing into Jokic. Second flagrant foul by Dort against Jokic.
He's a scary man.
Who, Dort?
No, Jokic.
Well, I wouldn't be hitting him in the face.
No.
But Dort did. The funniest part of it was the OKC radio thing said Jokic is faking. Then they showed the replay and the guy had to shut up because you could see him hit him.
That's crazy.
Chronicles. We'll see you tomorrow.
Padres, Diamondbacks, Cactus League Baseball on the Fan.
Gonna go!